All right, there we go. Now we're official.
There you go. Got it. Okay, I guess we have to click on that or something. Okay, so while Jean is doing that, she's going to share some things with you, and I'm going to share some things before we actually go over too much of anything. But we will deal with the revisions, not specifically with them, but we'll mention them as we're going through. And and what I would like to do is talk about universal challenges that we seem to have, which are going to involve embellishments and chording pickups and the chords that go with the pickups into the downbeat. And variations on things that you've done, like for instance, lyric edits. You guys are doing some great jobs with lyric edits, making it more more contemporary, fitting into your life or lives as we are now, instead of maybe just what was on the page. You're doing a great job with lyrics. Now we can expand on that and make the timing, make the note values match the lyrics instead of exactly what's on that page, like instead of a mother dear, but a mother dear, that sort of thing. We'll take a look at that. Your intros are just, well, we're looking at Liz's right now, or that's what's up in front for me, but I'm really enjoying your intros. There's so much in them, and we're going to examine a little bit about when you have the chords the way you have them, possibly your melody is not what you wrote. I mean, it's in another part. Maybe the melody went to the baritone and then back up to the lead that you might be able to hear. It sounds a little mumbo jumbo, and we're going to talk a little bit about baritone and bass, places to flip the baritone and bass for better voice leading, and to not have the baritone above the lead. And let me say, it's fine to have the baritone above the lead, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that if it does it for an extended period of time, and if there are options to switch parts so that the baritone is not above the lead, that's the thing that we're looking for. And then we talked about contrary motion. There's still things, people going right straight up. There's nothing wrong with parallel motion going up in certain instances, but when everybody like leaps off one building into another, that's the problem. There's nothing to anchor. So if we can talk a little bit about trying to retain one note as you're moving up, and sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, but okay, so we'll talk about that. And in general, your tags, well, we need to examine a tag a little more, it seems like, because number one, nobody went to a non-tonic ending. You all went to the tonic and then went from there, instead of what we call the deceptive, going to the whatever, the seventh or whatever, something, and then go from there to finally end with that. You all went to the tonic, and then did your tag and ended with the tonic again. So in general, that's probably not the strongest tag, okay? And yet there are good ideas in all of those tags. And Donna, if I can just say about I think it's yours, yes. You started out with a really good idea. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, but you ended. It's a 2-bar tag. You needed to go down on the farm to finish it, But it was a very clever idea to start with. And I'm like, oh, cool, she's going here. And I was like, okay, it ended. So anyway, but
that was one of my bad days.
Well, no, it was a good day to come up with that. But in particular in that one, it was like Daddy saying bass, and you'd want to hold that. Then you had the bass changed to Mama saying no, let the bass sing it. And while they're all going, Mama sang tenor, whatever, because it relates to your words. She talked about her parents. She talked about being, this was her life in Indiana, right?
Right.
And I don't like to bring it up because I know it wasn't a happy time for you, but
just the hayfield was unhappy.
We need to all need to understand that the reason she did this is because this is part of her life, and so that, and it was around singing around the piano. I thought it was brilliant, really. But you got to finish the thought. Okay.
Okay.
So how you doing there, Jean?
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, good.
So
Um,
I
so
think I
then,
switched to another one. Let's see. I switched.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, would you like to, because you had some things that you wanted to share, so would you like to share those so I can be quiet for a while?
Yes, yes. So anyway, I think they received all this in an email, right? But I just want to go over some things. One of the things I just sent you right before I started this Zoom was an evaluation guidelines that they use for when you apply for a scholarship, a Ranger scholarship. They have guidelines that they are using when they evaluate your stuff. So you should have received one of the attachments is guidelines, which we're going to go over later tonight. And the other one is like the form that they use for applying for a scholarship. But they also use those same guidelines in that same form for your final evaluation of this intermediate cohort. And so we're going to be going over some of that. And the reason I'm going to be going over some of these finale things is because one of the categories is manuscript. How's your manuscript? And of course, it's going to be nice and neat if you have a computer, you know, but there are things that have to line up right and all that stuff. So one of the things Judy and I talked about was when you're finished with your arrangement, and I don't know if you are all really good on the keyboard. I mean, I can play my song on the keyboard, but I always have the computer play it because my fingers always play the chord that I intended. But sometimes if I forget the accidental, I forget the natural, or I forget the sharp, the computer plays exactly what's on the paper, and it helps me catch some of my mistakes. And then the other thing I do is I'll have the computer play all four parts and I'll sing one part. Like I'll sing the lead line all the way through. And then I'll go back and sing the baritone. I sing each part to see if any of it feels like awkward jumps. Of course, you can't count the baritone. They have awkward jumps. But, you know, to see if the voice leading is decent. And so you can catch a lot of your mistakes that way. And so I don't know if, and the other thing that's important for this group is listen to it and see if any spots catch your ear that didn't sound, you know, sounded a little bit funny, or you're going along and oh, that's really good barbershop, and all of a sudden, ooh, what was that there? What was that there? You know, if it makes you twitch, then maybe that's a spot to check to see if there's a better solution, or is there a way to make it sound more like barbershop. And so those are things that the computer can do to help you with your proofreading and help you get through the things. Okay. So let's see. One of the I'm going to go through and mention some of the things. Uh, and I know most of you have finale, and somebody doesn't. Is it Liz that does that, right?
Yeah.
And we had a gal in our other group, same thing, but she was grateful for this portion because you know she had to learn all the correct spots to put the manuscript in, and she would listen and know how to do, you know, figure out how to do it on her own music software. So so hopefully you'll get something out of this too. So there is so at the beginning I see, and I'm just using this as you know, some examples. I see intro written here, and actually there's, you're supposed to line it up correctly. And by the way, with finale, if you uh, use there's a text tool. Okay. Oh, I probably should show the tools for this part, huh? I usually hide them. Okay. So if you use the text tool to put intro, if you would change the measures around or change, you know, the thing, when you use the text tool, wherever you write something, it stays in that exact spot on the page. If it's something that you want it to travel with the measure, so like if you're somewhere else in the song, like say at the chorus or something, you know, so if we go to the second page maybe, and find the chorus of the song or wherever the intro's done. Okay, so here you have the chorus, and maybe you decide that, oh, I really need this measure to be on the first page. So if I would put that measure on the first page, the chorus didn't go with it. Okay, it stayed here because because it was entered through the text tool. Okay, if you use the expression tool to do that, which is this one right here, and you put it in that way, because you can write it here. It has, you can make anything you want. It has intro, blah 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 blah. And if you use that tool to put it in, so let's say if I create something that says intro, let's say, and I'm not gonna, let's see, it shouldn't be italicized. It should be in bold, and it should be regular, not italicized. And does this still say, yeah, not, there we go, like that. And you can pick the size that you want to pick within reason. Okay, so now of course, this isn't the place where the intro is, but let's say if I put it right here, okay, it could be a little bit bigger font. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to line up the first letter of chorus or the first letter of intro should be in line with the note head, with the edge of the note head. And that's technically where it should be, on your paper. So because I use the expression tool for intro, if I had to move this measure to another page for any reason, then the word intro is going to move with, well, it didn't, don't you know? It's going to move with it. Should. Let's see if it did. Well, by golly, let me see. Oh, now why didn't it? I used the expression tool. Maybe,
You're on the page, Jean.
Oh. Let's see. I know I was on.
You did it on the chorus page.
Right. But because I attached it to this measure, because I attached it to this measure, when the measure moves.
Excuse me, I know. It should be to the first note. You attach it to the first note, not the measure.
Yes.
Like attach it to the tenor G.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I did, but perhaps I didn't. All right, let's get it out of there. But anyway, that's what you do. You attach it to the note that's in the measure. And anyway, so you get the idea. I don't want to take time playing around with that. But so that's the reason for using the expression tool. So anytime you want to put something in the measure like a tempo or anything like that, you'll want to use the expression tool to put it in there. Because if your measures are crowded on the page and you have to move it up a staff or down a staff, then the word intro would go with it. When you use the text tool, it stays right where it is. Okay. Any questions
Jean,
about that? Yes.
Can you change your presets in Finale so that you don't have to put in intro chorus every time? Can you actually set it up as standard? How do you do that?
Yes, you do that in your Finale, your template before you start writing anything. So if I bring up my template, let's see. Like I have one I've used like when I made all the templates for publication. And so I get a blank one, right? And I don't know why that's on. I don't want that on. Simple tool will go away. Yeah. So what I do is I set up everything before I even start the music. Okay. And I've already set up all that stuff. I've set up what layers am I going to use for tenor, all that stuff. And you set up all that stuff in the document options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go then to the expression tool. In fact, I think I already have it in my template. And open up that box and let's see what I have there already. Show them all. I have the X for above the tenor, I have anything that you want to put in there, put in that tool while you have a blank template. Okay. Then you have to save it as a template. So like when you do save, let's see, save as. I have to change. You know, like right now it says I'm going to save it as a music file. I can save it as a Finale template file. Okay.
That is genius. That's going to save so much time.
Yes,
Very
and
much.
then every time, if you use that template before you start making your music, all of that will be on there. Yeah. So
Save all the document options. That's the thing that's a massive time saver.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I set up the layers. I set up like I like to have my music tool, the music note, you know, change the note heads and all that. I always put that up on there before I start so that it stays up there, you know, like all these things. And I'll put up, I don't have it set up this way right now, but when I put up these tools, the special tools, oops, I missed. When I put up the, I don't want that, special tools so that it's already up right here, you know, so this whole little tool thing. And then I saved my template with that open. So then now that's always up there, where before I always had to go to tools, find it, blah, blah, blah. So if you ever want to make a change in anything you're doing in your template, you can set up your lyrics, what size you want your lyric words in the lyric tool. And and then save it as a template. That's the trick. The only thing that I haven't figured out yet, and you could probably figure it out for me, I don't know. I can't get it saved into my template folder. It won't let me save it to my template folder while I'm saving in a new template. So what I've had to do is I'll save it to my desktop, and then I'll open up my template folder and then drag it in there. You know, that was the only way I could get it to be back in the template folder. I'm sure there's probably a way around that, but I don't know what it is. Okay, good question.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any of those kinds of questions? That's really very helpful because that's a real pain. I put Word, however, I set up my Word extensions and all that too. Okay, so we did that. Oh, there's a difference. Yes.
Excuse me, Jean. I do have an issue, and
okay.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask you about that.
It
but
is.
I'm having all kinds of audio issues. Audio.
Okay.
When I open up a new, like when I make a new song, my audio is always messed up, and I always have to spend hours getting the darn thing to play.
Okay.
I have trouble with that as well.
Okay. So do you, are you having your audio come through your computer or come through your MIDI keyboard?
My computer.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay. So there's right here is MIDI audio. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what I have found, and I think it might be a glitch in the newer edition. I'm not sure because I haven't taken the time to ask about it. But you know, you can play it through all these instrument panels. But sometimes when you send your stuff to us and I open it and I try to play it, there's no sound. So
Right.
I'll go here to MIDI audio and I'll play Finale through MIDI, even though I'm not using my MIDI keyboard to hear the sound. I click on that, okay? And then I go to device setup. And then there's a place for MIDI setup. Okay.
Mhm.
And I click on that. And you know, if I have a MIDI keyboard hooked up to my computer, that'll show up here. But if not, I can still oh shoot, let me close this out. Once I put this play Finale through MIDI, once I do that, then I go to the Windows to the score manager. You know, and when I go to the score manager, then I click on sound and I click on that and I click on MIDI. I like to have what's not showing. Let me open up the frame. I like to have it be on a piano sound myself. And so I click on the MIDI and I put it on piano. So instead of saying choir ahs or what, you can pick whatever sound you want. But the point is, click on this general MIDI like this, and then choose the sound you want over here. Okay. And so then that will be showing at both places here. Okay. And then I close that window And now when I play, I'll hear the sound. Okay. So I'm sure that's totally different on yours, Liz, but
I have tried this and it still does not play.
wow.
No sound, no sound.
Wow. Okay.
The
Huh.
only way I can get sound is if I check off VST in the MIDI audio and
Yeah.
then choose I think I have to choose actually a MIDI voice in the score manager. There's only like one strange little thing and it seems like it doesn't like it
Ah.
would be, you know, giving it two
Yeah.
conflicting directions and for some
Right.
reason
I have to do that too. I have to go into the VST, whatever you said, and I have to have soft synth as one of the choices and Garriton
Yes.
or something as the other. I have to have those
I've
two
had
things
this.
going.
I've had this issue as well. It's an
Right.
issue with not having all of the plugins that Finale needs to operate. So you need to install some additional plugins, which I believe are freely available online. If you download Garriton instruments for Finale, then it will automatically give you a series of other instrument options.
Right. And also, you know, if you ever get a thing from Finale that says there's an update for your version, update your version, because sometimes it's that instrumental stuff. So because we're all having this trouble, let's have I just clicked the button that everybody can share their screen. So let's open up one of yours. And who was having that trouble? Elizabeth, Frank, or was it Abby?
Yes.
She left. Okay. Okay. Open up. Can you share your screen with us, please? And open up a Finale thing. And maybe it's one that's not playing, and we can see if we
Do you
can
want
get.
me to open my screen?
Yes. Share your screen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Share.
Ah, what is that you just put up there, Emily? That's the link for,
Yeah, it's just a link to one of the Finale help pages where it talks about the Garriton instrument plugins.
Yay, thank you.
No worries.
Okay, now make sure when you share your screen that you click the little box that says share your sound, share your computer sound. Did you click on share your screen?
Well, I'm not sure how to do it. Let me
Okay,
see.
down,
Share
wherever,
screen.
do you have a place that says your mute, stop video? There you go. There
Okay.
you go. Okay,
Do
now
we have it
find your Finale.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right. Now bring up a song that doesn't play. And we'll see if we can, I'll walk you through the steps for it. Like, can you open a file? Like, just close that box or, well, I don't know, go through the process you go through to open a file.
She's got to think of one that doesn't actually play. She's
Yeah.
probably made it play by now.
Yeah, that's probably true. Or you know what? Just put up a blank one and put in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for 2 measures, and we'll see if we can get it to play. My screen is frozen. Oh, Donna. Okay. Do you have a certain folder where you save your Finale files, Elizabeth? Great. Thank you, Emily. You know what? Click on your Finale icon. We can just get a file like that, and we'll start a new one. Do you see it down at the bottom of your screen? No, yeah, we can't hear. I can't hear you now, or maybe it's my thing. Somebody say something. See if my earbuds are working.
I can't hear Elizabeth either.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Sometimes it's my buds. Now, why did we
Although
change?
if the issue is that they don't have the right plugins, then
Well,
it's
that's true.
probably easier just to
But
fix that problem, and
yeah,
then it'll be fine.
but every Finale program comes with a sound, a
Yeah.
sound system. So
Yeah,
there should be a way around it.
yeah.
I think I've noticed on the troubleshooting pages that I had this issue, you guys have had this issue. A lot of the times they don't install properly with the Finale software. So you have to go through uninstalling and reinstalling all of the audio plugins, which is an absolute pain.
Oh, yeah. Ah, but now we can't hear you at all, Elizabeth. No wonder we can't hear your Finale. We can't hear you. All right.
It does that to me when I try to have Zoom on and Finale on at the same time. I can't hear it. It knocks out my speakers or something, and so I had to reboot just now.
Something we should do another. Sometimes we've done this another Finale thing.
Yeah, a separate Finale thing, just for
Another
stuff like
Finale
that.
thing, because there's if I agree, there's all kinds of things, and you are so good at that.
Well,
But
I was only thinking, everybody's having this problem, that we would go through that.
Right, I know, but if we're not be able to figure out what it is, I don't know.
Right.
Can we figure now?
Can we hear you now? Go ahead, Emily.
Just as an aside, also the issue of Finale taking preference over all of your other sound systems, you can change that in settings on your computer.
Ah, there you go.
And tell the computer to stop letting Finale take over.
Oh, wow.
Which it is inclined to do.
My A grade already now,
Wow. No, I've never had that issue on my computer, so it's like, yeah, cool. Can we hear you now, Elizabeth? Say something.
No, we can't hear.
You might have to sign off and come back on, Elizabeth. We can't hear you. Yeah.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Elizabeth.
Maybe she can't hear us either.
Oh, that could be. We should go in the chat, say reboot, get back on. Yeah, she'll probably come back on. Okay.
So frustrating.
It is. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yes, we can do a separate little thing to try to figure that out for you. And I get it about that. And have you gotten a new computer lately, Donna, or not?
In March.
Oh, because
that's where the problem started, right?
Yeah,
it was great before
it's
then.
not compatible with
Right.
your new computer and stuff.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
I've had that too.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm suddenly feeling better about using MuseScore. I
don't have any. You've never had any trouble, eh?
There's all the free software. So.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, that is pretty funny.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, I want to start to talk about the difference between a slur and a tie. And I would imagine it's two different tools in Finale. And so it might be in yours too, Liz. I don't know, because I'm not familiar with it. But if you there's a expression tool here called the expression tool. That's where you do the slurs. A slur is used when you're going to two different pitches, holding like one syllable or one word and going to two different pitches. A tie is when you're connecting it to the same pitch. And so in Finale, if you use a slur in place of a tie, then when you play it, it won't tie through. It'll play it like two separate notes. If you have over the bar line or something. And so just be aware that there's the Smart Shape tool is used for slurs, and you can either in speedy entry or simple entry put in the ties. Okay. So it makes a difference. They look different I can tell when somebody uses the tie instead, because it looks visibly a little bit different. Let's see, what else we're going to Okay, so I don't know if this was a blooper or an oversight, and I can't remember who had it on their arrangement. You only use the X over the tenor note when the tenor note is underneath the lead. And so somebody had an X there just when the notes were a second apart. And that's not what the X is for. It's for when the tenor is lower than the lead note. That's when you put that X, okay? And again, you should do that X in the expression tool. so that it travels with the measure if you have to switch your measures around. Okay.
Jean, can I ask an aside question with that?
Absolutely.
This, of course, won't come up in a contestable arrangement, but I did have an example the other day in a very non-contestable arrangement where very briefly the lead was below the bass.
Whoa!
Can you, and I did it for deliberate reasons, but how would you notate that with an X? Would you put an X over the lead, for example, or would you just not?
Wow.
Or were you going, Emily, bad girl, you should never do that anyway?
That's right. We're kicking you out of the program, period. That's it. Yeah.
Is there any way of indicating that properly if that happens?
I've never come up with that kind of a situation. So I don't know. I was gonna say, but it's not the lead going to the bass part. It's just, yeah. I would probably write in a notation that, the lead is below. I would maybe do one of those brackets, even though we use that bracket for a same note, when it's two enharmonic spellings, put a bracket like that and say, below the bass or something. I don't know. I will look that up and try to find out an answer. I haven't come across that one yet. Yes, but I can see how that can happen. Yes. Yeah. Good question. Wow. So we talked about the X. Okay, what else? So what I like about listening to the computer play the song, sometimes, well, of course, my ears can hear when the computer's playing 4 notes or only 3 notes. Like sometimes you mistakenly put the baritone and the lead on the same note, and then as it's playing, it only has 3 notes in that chord. Well, sometimes that's done on purpose, but lots of times it's like, oh, wait, I must have, maybe the baritone's on the wrong note, or maybe the lead's on the wrong note, because we found some places where there were, especially between the lead and baritone, where they're on the same note all the time, which they weren't supposed to be intentionally that way. So you have to watch out for that. Let's see. And somebody had a spot that had no baritone note because, do you remember whose that was, Judy?
Yeah, I do.
Because if we could show them, that would be helpful.
I think, I thought I had it here. Maybe I don't.
I think it was me, Elizabeth, in my intro.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Was in my, and I'm also the bad girl with the X, and that happened because I changed the melody and I forgot to take the X out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So it's just those kind of errors. I have to tell you, like, when you go to turn in your last piece for evaluation, you have to really, really, really check all that stuff, because that'll make your manuscript score go low when really your manuscript score could be the top score of 5, if you do everything the right way. But there was a place where everybody had a half note except the baritone.
I think it's measure 4.
Right here.
4.
Well, it wasn't that. Yeah.
What's interesting is that it should, there was no, I asked Gina, but there's no rest notes or anything, but it should have been a half note for the baritone, but the program didn't put anything in.
Usually the program will automatically put a rest.
Yeah, I know. It's so odd.
Yeah. So that was very strange that it didn't. So what we were wondering, and see, now when I would play the computer part and sing along the baritone part, I would notice when I got there that, oh my gosh, this measure only has 3 beats. So were you intending that the baritone note for me should be a half note, or is it a quarter note and a rest, or is it a move to another note that you forgot to put in? Or
no, I forgot to put in the note, and I failed. I didn't sing it.
Yeah.
But either way, it's an anomaly because the computer should have put in a rest or something.
I think I changed that setting because I think I was very annoyed that it kept putting rest.
Change the setting that it didn't fill any. It filled the rest of the measure with rest if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, girlfriend. Hey, you guys.
Yeah, it's on staff. That's under the staff tool to change that. If you go to edit staff attributes.
Jean, can we go to something else then?
Okay, can I finish my finale stuff
No,
or not?
yeah, I'm just saying she's got, yes, go. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm just looking. Oh my God.
Okay. Anyway, it's right in here. The staff attributes. There's a place that says rest in or something. Anyway, yeah. So we can,
It's under staff. Okay.
yeah, under staff attributes. Okay, so that was that. And next to that, and definitely no baritone. Okay, so and I think everybody knows this, but when you're checking your music, this is something you should check. At the end of your intro, every time you go into a new part of the song, you should have a double bar line, right? So at the end of your intro, you should have a double bar line. And most of you did, but somebody forgot. I don't remember who. So is it, you know, this was an intro right here, right? It says intro. And then the verse started right here. So there needs to be, you should always have a double bar line at the end of your intro. And then, so you have a double bar line at the beginning of your verse, and you should always have a double bar line, at the end of the verse before it goes to the chorus. So in other words, every section, when you go from intro to verse or verse to chorus or chorus to key change or last chorus to tag, there should always be a double bar line. Okay. So that's something they're going to be watching for in your manuscript to make sure you're doing that.
And Jean, the words verse and chorus, are they also supposed to line up with the first note?
Yes.
In the measure as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And tag and all that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The verse, chorus, key change, beginning and tag. One thing that I noticed that really doesn't have anything to do with finale, but when you have a swipe and you have, say, one note holding and the other notes are moving around there, you have to make sure that every chord that you're making in the swipe makes a chord. So, well, this one does. It goes to a C6 because I found in some places that when you switch, like say the lead's holding here, so really that lead note is part of this chord. So this one's correct. And that G is part of this chord. But sometimes as you're making swipes, you don't think about that. Every swipe that moves it still has to make a 4-part chord with whatever notes are holding out. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, some of you put your chord spellings up here, that's good. That's good for practice. And but when you turn in your final one to be evaluated, it should not have the chord symbols on there. And you can take that out, just write it staff attributes. Like if you put them in because you use them, and then before you go to print it, there's a place over here that says chords, items to display, chords. I'll take that check mark away. And then the chords are gone.
Oh, well, that would be so much faster than doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to know. Yeah. So let's see, chord spellings. And then what we did notice, what Judy and I both noticed, is sometimes you had a chord symbol up there, but that's not the chord that you made underneath it.
Mhm.
So I think our question was, because we're all kind of new at this, did you on purpose not do the chord that was on the chord symbol, or did you think you spelled that chord and you spelled it wrong? So that's kind of stuff to check when you're proofreading your arrangement. Okay. Okay, so when the tenor is below the lead, and you know what, this would work also, Emily, for when the lead is below the bass. The lowest note should be on the right. So in other words, you know how sometimes you have the lead and the tenor, they're a second apart, but the lead's above the tenor. So the tenor note would be the higher note would be on the left, and that's the note that would be lined up with the baritone and bass note. And then the lead note, which is lower and on the right, would be to the right. So that would be the one that wouldn't line up. Okay, does that make sense for everybody?
Mm.
And then also, you have finale automatically, like I'll put it that way, I'll go to another page and come back and it's back the other way. And there's a place to take away a check mark so that doesn't happen.
Where is that, please?
Let's see, it's in documents. Seconds. Let's see. Which one says chords? Is it chords? No. Must be just under notes, maybe. Where's notes? Let me get the notes. Yeah.
Because I spend so much time redoing those things.
Yes. Oh, maybe it's here it is, music spacing. So you go to document options, and then you click on music spacing. And even though it says avoid the collision of that, if you take away that check mark, then when you redo it, it should stay that way. You know? And sometimes it reverts back, but and the other thing you have to watch that when you do have a second like that, it can cause your lyrics to run together. So did you know you can move it over slightly if you had to? This is a great trick. Here's all the flowers in bloom. Look at that base thing. If I go to the measure tool, I have 3 handles. Do you have that when you do that?
Oh, yes.
And so I can change, I can move 2, I can move 2 over. These are all the note heads that you have. So if I hold down the shift key and I can move this one over, it'll move all those over a little bit, you know. Or if you don't want to do that, you can move one handle. You can just move one of them over, you know, to spread out the words a little bit. You know.
Now, how'd you get to that?
So that's
Say
in
that
the
again.
that's in the measure tool. So if you click on the measure tool, there's a place in the box that says using beat chart spacing. It says according to time signature, mentally by Dragon, I always have it on using beat chart spacing. And so, Emily, that's also something you can set up before you save your template. And then that'll always be there. And then when you have that, there are 3 handles. The top handle moves the measure number, right? The bottom handle is what puts that box up there. The middle handle is the one if you want to move the bar line left or right. Okay, so that thing was so helpful. And the other thing you could do is go to the lyrics tool and move the lyric over a little bit. And if you have this lyric box, you can adjust the syllables. And I can move them over a little bit if it's just, you know, if they're crunched together a little bit too much. So that's a good thing to know. So let's see, did I get through everything? Swipe, no change, makes a chord. Yeah, tenor. Accidentals. So Liz, this was one of your questions. Accidentals, you know, will follow through the measure for all parts. So because our singers read horizontally, you know, normally if you're reading music and you're playing a piano score or something, if there's a sharp on an A on the like say in the tenor part, then all the rest of the A's in that measure should be sharp. I mean, well, that's the music rule that it should play that way. But the barbershop finale is not set up that way. So you have to, so like look here in measure 15 here. The lead has a D sharp, the baritone has a D sharp. If I took one, you know, this D sharp away, even though this is playing D sharp, we know the music rule that all these Ds should automatically be a D sharp. But you have to put in the accidentals. You know, so since there's one in the lead line, the rest of the Ds will be sharp. Since there's one in the bari line, the rest of them will, in that measure, will stay sharp. But yes, you do have to put them in for every part. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Jean, what happened to the lead and tenor notes on the word piece?
Oh, see, now that's where you have to move it over to the right. And then probably because I took that check. Maybe I did the check mark backwards. Let me see.
Because you told them to ignore seconds.
Yeah, let me see another
Oh.
place. Well, see, yeah, I probably there's another place I have to look up. Gosh, I got to write myself a note. Yeah, it's because I fiddled with that check mark.
Okay.
The 1-2-1 check for that is actually under preferences when
Oh.
everything else is under options. If you go to preferences and edit,
Thank you. I knew it was somewhere. You should be teaching this, Emily. Yeah.
under
Yeah,
the edit tab, if you untick automatic music spacing, and then
Ah,
whenever you edit
there it
note
is.
position, it won't automatically flick it back.
Then it'll stay. Thank you, Emily. I knew it was in there somewhere. So the one under documents should be clicked, should stay on. And then once you fix this, since we took that check mark away, it should stay fixed. Right?
So what you told us about going into document options, we don't do it that way.
Right. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
so we go
My
to
mistake.
edit
Right.
preferences and what was it, Emily?
Under
You untick automatic music
you go to
spacing.
the edit menu and then do preferences.
Yeah.
And then go to the edit in this box. And then it's right
Okay.
in there. Yeah. Yay! It was there somewhere. And so that they got moved over. Oops, it should be the tenor one. And then hopefully that'll stay that time. Okay, that's what happened there. Okay, let's see how we doing on my list here. Tenor's gonna pick up. Oh, I wonder what that was. Trio pickup sounds like an incomplete chord instead of like a trio. Oh, I don't remember what I meant by that. Oh, when you do what we do with Sweet Adelines, when you do a bracket, because it's the same note, like if you have like an A flat, change it to a G sharp, then we usually write really tiny, same note, right above that bracket line. So that's something that
Above the bracket line.
well, yeah, it depends which way the bracket's going. You know, if the bracket is pointing down, then you put it above there. If the bracket is
Okay.
pointing out, then you put it underneath there. And
Okay.
you write it real tiny, same note. And make sure you use a dashed line when the melody moves from one part to another. Most of you did that, but it's easy to forget. It's easy to go from lead to something, but it's easy to forget to make it go back to the lead. So don't forget that line. And so,
Sorry, excuse me, Jean.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you were done. Oh, sorry, this is about the last thing you were talking about. I'll wait till you're done this.
No, go ahead.
In 15,
Yeah.
where we have the lead above, but a third apart, do you want that spaced out as well? Or is it
Yes.
only if it's a second that you want the note head? So
Well,
in measure
yeah.
15, do you
It
want
should-
that tenor note slightly to the right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I just didn't bother.
Yeah.
It should have been.
No, just confirming. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, see, I can tell that they're crisscross, but some people might have trouble. So sometimes you go like this, just a little bit, so they can tell that it's above.
Yeah,
like
that was just a new instruction. Your email had that to me was a new thing to do for
yeah.
a third. So I'm just confirming just slightly is better. Okay, good. Thank you.
Right. So that way it makes it crystal clear that the lead is above the tenor there. Yep. When the baritone, if the baritone and the bass are singing the same extra word, like I see here, they're going blooming. Oh, that's in a different place. They got to have the same. Oh, right here, and rest. Some of the bass and baritone are both singing the words and rest. And the old rule was you put and rest, you put the words there and you put it under the bass. You don't have to do both. You only put it above. Now up here, they both have to be there because they're all saying bloom at a different time, right? A different rhythm. And so when you have an and right here, there should be a word extension going from there through there. And when you do that, the word extension is supposed to go to whatever, because it goes, they're singing through here, the word extension would line up with that stem. So the word extension would be that long. Those are some of the manuscript things. Okay. All right. Let's
Jean,
see.
my,
Yes.
my slur does not belong on blooming. Is that correct? Measure, the previous measure? Blooming, that's
Okay.
incorrect that I have a slur
Right
on the
here?
baseline.
Do you have
Yes.
is that a slur or a tie?
No, I'm talking about the baseline. It's a
Yeah.
tie in the berry.
Oh, yes.
The base. No slur there, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
did you just forget, or are you thinking of that for phrasing, or what was your reason for putting that there?
I don't remember why that's there because I did a tremendous amount of changing as I
Ah,
went through,
yeah.
and I think I made changes and just forgot to make
Ah,
take things off and
right.
did all
And
those other things. So
right. And so that's why I proofread every line. Because when I would be singing the bass line, I would notice that. I would go, oh, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, when you put fermatas in your music, it only needs to go above the staff and below the staff. Okay, so some of you had it like the under the lead note. Some of you, one person had it above and below every note in the chord. You don't have to do that. It goes above the tenor note and below the bass note. Okay. And let's see, when one part is holding, and when you are writing in your chords, if you should use the chord tool to type in your chord symbols instead of the expression tool.
Oh,
So if you notice, if you type it in with the chord tool, it'll play the chords as the music is playing, unless you go in and turn that one off. But you should be using the chord tool to do that, because it will, like when I write B flat, when I type it in and I write a capital B and a small b, as soon as I go to the next chord, it changes it to a real picture of a flat, where in the expression tool, it would just be a capital B and a small b. Okay.
why is it that sometimes it just you've got a chord that like I had a bunch of E minors and it would not put it, and it wouldn't designate it when I went into plugins and show chords. It
Well,
just, so I had to put it in there myself, and I didn't know how to do that, so I used expression.
you mean to type in A with a small m? Is that what you mean?
No, when I just say display chords, display all chords, it'll show the chord for the whole measure, but sometimes it just refuses to show some of them.
Okay, so did it show it with a small letter A instead of a?
Didn't show anything.
It didn't show anything. Oh, I don't know that answer. Do you, Emily?
It seems temperamental sometimes with chord reading, particularly if they're spaced chords. It sometimes
Right,
won't
they're,
read them.
mostly they were widely spread chords.
Yeah, so sometimes classic minor and major triads, if they're spaced, it gets confused, and so it just has a bit of conniption and says nothing.
That's what it did. Okay.
Could be. Oh yeah, we
Okay,
talked
thank
about
you.
the word extension. When one person's holding say a whole note and the other parts are moving, you have to use a word extension. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, so looky, I put an example in here. Can you see that? Oh wait, no, you can't because it's over here. I sent that to you. Like, oh, that was about keep the lead note on the same note. So the way the chords were spelled, the lead was doing the the G sharp. It's the same note, same note. See how it says same note under there? Whoop. And, but instead of doing that, keep the lead on the A flat all the way across there and change the spelling of the other three notes around it. Because there's always two ways to spell it. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? I think I might be done. Let's see. Get to the end here. Yep,
So Jean, that's even the case if you end up with, double sharps and double flats and muckiness.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Or you could change the very first note of the hanger if that would avoid the double flats, but you might get them somewhere else. But yes. So the old way was just, spell it wrong. But the new way is, if we want to be accepted in the regular music world, we need to spell our chords correctly, no matter what, and teach the singers what a double flat is and what a double sharp is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anybody, is anyone interested in doing like a separate finale thing for other problems?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because we can set up a finale thing like that,
Mhm.
That'd be
which
good.
would be a separate session.
That would be
But I just wanted to make sure you were aware of some of these things. Oh, and some of you, I don't know that it's a requirement, but you should have a measure number on every measure, not just at the beginning of the music line. Okay, because that's easier for them to evaluate if they have to say, if they can find the measure numbers. And that's in the measure tour. Okay. Any other questions about the manuscripts at the moment? All right. Okay, Judy, your turn.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, listening to Jean talk about this stuff is so amazing, and it's all the stuff. But so we need to have that additional session. This was very helpful here. I hope we have time to get to your everything with your arrangements. But so one of the universal challenges that we have is this. We wanted you to move things, not just like sit on a note at the end of the phrase, right? So the pendulum has gone completely over to the other side now. I'd like to move it back a little because if you notice on my notes, I said, avoid two move embellishment when one will be stronger. Um, Here's some thoughts just for you in general about you're doing it. If there's a lot of movement in the lyric of the verse, for instance, I can hear the church bells ringing, right? Or um, um, all my thoughts begin to roam far away above the city. There's already a lot of movement. Maybe there's a good place to maybe hold a note for a minute or maybe make a slight change instead of a bum, 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 because now that you've all learned how to do that, I want you to think about eliminating the middleman because almost everybody did it. I have to give a little props here, I think, to um, Abby, I think, who didn't only did it a couple times. But anyway, so let's look at why that's a good idea. Are you with me on this? We're going to show. We've got. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Who do you want? Who do you want to have up there? I got them all.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. You have it right up in front of us. Measure 10. Whoever this is. Okay. City. No. Right where you were. You were perfect. It was perfect.
Is that where I was?
Yes. Exactly perfect. Measure
Oh.
10. You had measure 10 there, and I think almost everybody had a measure 10 that looked like measure 10.
It's on the next page.
Keep
Okay.
going. Yep, you got it. So, all right,
Alright.
city. Okay, now let's just take a look at city. City is a little word that maybe city. If you took out the middle and just went city, you went right where you needed to go. Right now, what you have is a tenor to go city. That's not an easy move. They go up a whole step and down a half step. And except for exceptionals, that's going to cause a bit of a tuning because the parents are going city. Yeah. So you have those two already complicated things, and it didn't help anything, did it? I mean, if it were sit pretty city or something, if you had words for it, there's a place where I think Abigail did one that was home sweet home. She made 3 moves because she had words for it. Home sweet home, right? This has city, and almost everybody had one of these in their arrangement. So if you see that the choice could be city, right? It's a city, right? Not city, particularly after you had far away above the city, far away above the city, which is another thing that we'll talk about that making your notation, your note values reflect your words, your lyrics, right? So in general, that's just, we don't need all of it. It sounds cool on the piano. And that, as arrangers, we have to learn to go, okay, that was cool. I made cool chords. Now, what does my arrangement need? And what do my singers need to go, city? The baritones will love staying on that G. City, city hall. And the tenors will love going there. They didn't want to go, city hall, because something's going to go wrong. You with me?
Well, how did you know? How did you know that city is a place that you don't need something? How did you know that?
Well, as I say, it's a little word.
Little word, okay.
If it's a little word, or if we had another one with childhood, it's childhood. So if we say
Childhood.
it's a city, it's our childhood. Even if we had good old childhood, I don't think we'd
Yeah.
say that. But so that's what I'm saying. If another one was wandering. Now that's really if you're wandering a long way. Wandering. Wandering. Ba-da-da.
So are you saying you have to take into consideration how we would speak the words?
How
Does
would
that help you figure out where to add more moves and where to not?
Yeah, I think, right, Gina, it's a combination. If you have lots of lyrics like all
It,
my thoughts
real
begin to
wordy.
roam, you want to have a holding place, not all my thoughts begin to roam. Wait, there's also a breathing issue. If you have city, all now, whoever was this, Elizabeth, gave you a breath mark. Yay. Sometimes we had a lot of these went on to a pickup, city, da, and there's no place to breathe. So one move beats two moves most of the time, unless you have words to put in it, or you have and we just sang a thing like, all my thoughts would, da, and we want to dress up the end of the phrase. You with me? So if you have a lot of lyric movement before, then streamline the city. Also, it's stronger, it sounds better, it finishes your phrase, it makes a lyric statement. City, it isn't laborious like an arranger was having too much fun. Finish the thought.
Chord happy, huh?
Chord happy,
Yeah.
and it gave you room to breathe. City, all my thoughts, right? And if the middle note causes tuning problems, which happens in a lot of these middle notes, because they sound good on the piano, so we put them on the manuscript. Think again about what you're doing to your singer. And particularly, a tenor goes up a whole step, down a half step is a problem. And a baritone can do up a half step, down a half step, but why? Just those are things to ask yourself. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying there are choices. So choose the better choice.
So
Okay?
that might be something else you notice when you sing through the part. You might notice, like when you get to, like, say, I'm not a tenor. I can honk out the tenor, but I'm not a tenor. So I probably would have trouble singing that in tune when I got there as I was singing along to proofread it.
Yeah. And again, it's a word. It's city. If we had city, why? Unless you had pretty city or something like that, but not city. So if we don't have words for it, we're just going to spread it out unless it's a word we want. Now, over here she has roam. I think that again, all my thoughts begin to roam. Probably just let it roam, let it just hang there. Might be another choice for you. It's not wrong, but why did we put it? To roam. Rome to Rome. Just a,
Judy, can I ask, was that what you were meaning? One point I didn't quite understand, and I may have gone overboard with corrections, but like in measure 12 there, yes, I had many things like that. And then I took them out because I thought you said don't bother just moving one note and then back to the same one. Is that what you mean? If you have one chord, don't go chord, something else, back to the same chord. Is that what you're talking about?
yes and yes, but this isn't a good example of it.
Yes and no. At
We'll
least
have
you
an,
have words with this one. Yeah.
she did have Rome to Rome, and there we had different notes and the lead held. Do you hear that, Elizabeth?
Yes.
So that's still in an appropriate place. If, even though her first and third chord are the same, it's a
Yeah.
good way to make it more interesting on just a held
I
note.
don't,
Okay.
I don't think I don't think it's the right chord. Here's why. Thank you for saying it. If you wanted to go there, or far away, something Rome to Rome doesn't really accomplish anything for us. We'll dress it more later. This isn't a. I think just holding out the Rome was fine with no embellishment, because not everything needs an embellishment, particularly because you want to set at the base. Rome, way back when. So as long as we're on this, this is nice. Back to where the flowers are blue.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is lovely. Now, and Gina, weigh in if you think, but I think if you say blue ooming, I think everybody would want to be on an oo. You don't want bloom 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 blooming, right?
That's
Or
true.
it
You
sounds like
could
we're
do
blowing
that.
bubbles. Ooming, and I would leave the bass on the F sharp, leave the lead on the A. It makes a nice, like a blooming. And then here's a key. Who has the melody starting 15?
The lead.
The lead. So, and where all. So the lead needs to come in, not the bass, because and. So good idea, but have the lead come in and then the bass follows. And where all. Do you see? We don't want to start with and on a non-melody note because
Yeah.
we're following it, right? But
It's
it's
a
a
way of
lovely,
switching right back. Yeah.
it's a lovely treatment where all the flowers are blooming, beautiful.
That
But
was cool.
you could choose to have the bass stay on it, and then and where all, or what you have is lovely. I mean, it's just an idea, it's a thought. Beautifully done, but put the lead on the melody, and where all is peace and rest. And let's see. So since that was there, so in without reviewing everybody's, you all had that same thing. If you have a lot of movement in the lyric line of the verse, when you get to the end of the phrase, like city or childhood or whatever, maybe you want to simplify it. Almost always, one move is better than two, unless it's one part is moving. And we're going to see who had that I wanted to show. Go down to the bottom here. Maybe if Elizabeth has an example there, Jean, would you?
Right.
Let's see if it's like rest. Okay, good. Okay, here she's got a rest. Rest. Very nice. Do you see the difference? Two parts were moving while two parts held. Rest and rest. Very nice. And it seemed to go with the lyric, did it? Peace and rest was a lovely, you can see that it looks nice. It sounded good. And what? Go on. Let's see. Just as a thought, as we're talking about rest, back beyond, I think we have back amid the scenes of childhood again. Childhood. Do you see what I mean? Back amid the scenes of childhood. And then right into back where I was once so blessed. I love the lyric variation here. Yes, beautiful. This is Elizabeth, isn't it? Yeah, beautiful lyric variation.
Yeah.
Back amid the scenes of childhood, back where I was once so blessed. Let me just suggest that as we look at this and we see back among the seeds of childhood, back where I was once so blessed, I think maybe that's not the focus. It's back amongst the seeds. So put a rest before the first one. Back among the seeds of, you see what I mean?
No,
Back
I'm
among the
confused.
seeds of childhood, then back where I was once so blessed. Or
Are you saying because it's the same rhythm twice?
I'm saying, yes, I'm saying lyrically, I would say back among the scenes of childhood. I wouldn't say back amid the scenes of childhood, would I? If you're telling a story, back
So
amid the scenes of childhood, back where I was once so blessed, back where I was once so blessed. Think about varying your rhythm pattern to how you would say it, how you want. Blessed, um, and blessed, so blessed. Maybe, so you have blessed, so blessed, maybe just so blessed. You've already got once so blessed, once so blessed. And maybe we don't need all of the repetition of the lyric. And again, not wrong, just maybe there's, you can grow on that idea and, you know, does anybody have a question what I was talking about there?
No, it makes sense. You're just trying to add more variety rather than so that it doesn't get repetitious.
And so that it tells the story. She's changed these words beautifully. Amid the scenes of childhood, amid the scenes of childhood, back where I was once so blessed, or something. Just maybe not da 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 da. Almost everybody did it. So find a place where you can vary it up some. Let's see. Let's put Abby's up there for a second. If
Okay.
we've got Abby's, and we'll look at Abby's a little bit on the same kind of things. Whoops, it's just on these particular things. We're just talking about in the cottage, by the way. Okay, Abby, I want to say when you did your revision, and you changed your intro was already beautiful. I would have changed a chord on then to a B7. Just consider that because it didn't seem to
Yep.
flow, but your suddenly is lovely. I find myself back home. It's very nice. I'd like to have you just think about this, what I heard when I played it. Years fly by, and suddenly I find myself back home. That's what I heard your melody, even though your melody is suddenly I find myself back home, because your chord's
Yep.
tiny. I find myself back home. I think the baritone notes on Find My are the melody. So when we talked about you do your melody, you do your chords, and it's easier to change your melody than it is the chords. And you have beautiful chords, but I didn't even realize that I'm playing it. I'm going, oh, that's not what her melody is. But I'm singing her melody. So do you see that,
Because
everybody?
you heard that pop out, huh? You heard that
Yeah.
pop out because the baritone was higher than the lead note? Is that why?
Because it had a I find myself back home.
Oh, it's kind of like the
Because-
patterns.
because
Yeah.
that's the melody to me. This is nice. That is this nice. The melody is I find myself back home. It goes with her lyric, it goes with her line, and it's in her chord. So I'm just saying, as an idea, if you put this, do you all hear it? Don't you go there? Find myself back home. It sounds like the melody, so why not give it to the leads anyway? It's a beautiful thing, Abby. Years fly by, then suddenly I find myself back home. Really nice.
Yeah,
There are
awesome.
a couple of things. Then when we asked her to do changes, she made the she gave the tenor the notes the baritone has. Just a feel, which made a beautiful transition. Just a feel, better for the tenor and
Yeah.
to sing it than the baritone. Why? Because the baritone, Benefield, and the tenor is just a feel,
Yeah.
right?
Good voice leading. Yeah.
Just a feel. So it flowed into it. So if you give yourself a duet, think of where it's going to, and you made a really good change by doing that. And it
And
caused,
even though there are only two parts singing, you still put the fermata up above the staff.
yes, yes.
So,
Okay.
but Jean, in that case, wouldn't I'm concerned then that this people singing would think the fermata was only on the just, not the
I
a.
mean, you can put both fermatas there, but it shouldn't be under the lead line.
Oh, I see.
It
Oh,
should
okay.
be
So
up
use two, but
here,
got it.
up,
Okay.
up
Yeah.
above
Okay.
the staff. That's all I was
Okay.
saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
the base one is correct. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So
Okay.
Abby,
Okay. Got
why
it.
do you want just and both to be held?
I don't know. I guess that's just the I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess the performers will do what they want anyway.
I'm just asking you why, if you have
Probably the way she felt it. Yeah.
just a field. I mean, I can hear you holding the just a field, but is an insignificant kind of a thing, isn't it? Just a field. You want to drive into your chorus. So I would only put one fermata if I'm going to put one up there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you made the change, you went, which was a good change, on new. Yeah, that was good. So you made some other changes, but anyway, that was to make that point about that melody. Could we pull up Elizabeth's intro? Either Elizabeth or Liz, whatever. Yeah.
Well, which one?
Well, yeah. We just looked at Elizabeth's. Let's look at Liz's.
Oh, all right.
Oh, sorry, if you already had it up there. That's fine. It was good. Okay, so I love Liz. I love this idea. A city life is not for me. The farm is where I long to be. We talked about rhyming things. I think this is one of the ones where you wouldn't rhyme. A city life is not for me. The farm's where I belong. It's good the way you have it, but just to think about long to be also works, but just a thought. So on yours, I played it. It was cool. A city life is yeah. So it ends on a nice high, but when I listened to it, I went, the city life, the city life. City life. I would have moved up there. City life. It is not for me. You have it in the melody revoicing. I just heard it. A city life is not for me. Or not for me, not for me. That works too. A farm. Let's see. The farm is where the farm. I would put farm is where I long to be. It had a nice arc to it though. So I would work on it a little more. You have the right idea. I mean, what a beautiful thing. A city life is not for me. The farm is where I long to be. Just a
like
field
that.
bloom on hay. What a beautiful thing. And you ended with this nice thing, D7 into. Now, here's the problem. B minor 7. Is that this? I guess it is, but I wouldn't put the lead and the bass next to each other, would you?
Oh,
Drop the
because they're
bass
right
down.
beside each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but long to be just you don't want to start the interest to your song with that.
Or you can have them on the same note and go just da, just da. You know, if that's too low to go down for the basses, to go down to just.
Or were you saying, Gene, that okay,
Just
or maybe it's a duet,
well,
you know, a lead and a. But I think you had the right idea with just a field coming into it, but it could also be a duet with the lead with the bass on a G, right?
So what chord did you change it to then? Just.
Oh, I just did it as a duet,
Oh, right. Okay.
or
So you can do a duet so that the duet sounds good, but you're not necessarily creating like it's because it's not a 4-part chord. You don't have to make it sound like.
No, duets, those are good if they work. Oh, that's the other thing. I think you have a G written, but a G7 in the chord.
that's what
I
we
would
were talking about. Yeah.
I would do a D7 to the B minor to the D7 because that flows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of throws you off the card a little bit. Or you have a G chord written, but a G7. So we'll just look at it. But often after a D7, a B minor to a D7 to works, right? To a G. Those three to D7 to a G. Only in this case, you're going to go long to B, just a field. I like the little duet thing there. Or it's hard to get off of the low D to the next thing, but does everybody understand you can do those things when they work?
Well, how do you know when they work and when they don't? That's the struggling part. It's like you sit there and say that. Say, I'm being the devil's advocate, you know. But how
Yeah.
did you know that? Well, that's what'll work instead of what I did. Oh, how do you know that? I mean, you're good at that. How do you know that?
I don't know. How do you know that? If it
Your
fits,
ears or what? I mean, how
you
did you?
know, well, it wasn't like taking something out of somewhere to make it. We have a couple of examples where all of a sudden we ended on, on Liz's. Can you bring this down a little bit?
Yeah. Okay.
So right here, Liz, when you got shield me from all harm, they just sort of like dropped out of the sky. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I changed that in my revised version.
and you did exactly. I was gonna say you figured it out because
Yeah, I heard that too, and I thought it just sounds so empty.
it empty. Thank you. There you
Well,
go.
there you go. See, so you did know that you had to do that.
And the
Yeah.
other one didn't sound. It didn't sound empty. It sounded like da da da. It just sounded like it was the right thing to do. But empty is a good thing to look at.
Good job.
So yeah. Um, All right, so we looked at, anyway, I love the lyric, and I think you have the right idea. But you can massage your melody a little bit based on the rest of the chords you did. You know, a city life is not for me. A city life is not for me, which was in your chords. So
You know what, Julie? That is so enlightening because always had trouble. I always did chords and never thought of a melody. And what I'm hearing you say now, which is so cool, is well, if it doesn't kind of feel like a melody, flip flop it with the baritone notes, and somehow you can get like a musical line, a melodic line. That's really
you had
cool.
it. You had it in there, but the way you notated it, that happens to me all the time. I'm like going, oh, I gave the wrong part that part. You know, and in this case, your chords just because I'm just playing them, I'm like, I started singing your melody. I'm like, oh, that's not a melody, but it is the melody. I
Wow, cool.
your notes, so that's good. Can we look at Elizabeth's?
Hmm.
May
Elizabeth,
I ask a question,
yeah,
please?
dear.
Going back up to the introduction here, can
Yeah.
we
Okay.
see the intro again, please? Okay, so at the end of the intro, the lead ends up on a C, a high C. And then her next note is a B below the middle C.
Mhm.
So that's an octave in one note. Is that problematic? Because I labored endlessly trying to bring the lead back down so that it was easy to reach that B for her.
No, I don't think it's hard.
It can
Did
be
I
a,
labor?
it can be hard for some groups. Yes, it can be.
Okay. So that's
But
not really,
if you're doing that chord, three of the notes are the same, and if they because it leads into the melody, because it is like a da da da, I think maybe it wouldn't be too terribly hard to do.
okay.
Okay, and given that you could, there was one other thing I wanted to say about this one, Liz. When you go, a city life is not for me. The farm is where I long to be. Why don't you be the farm is where I long to be? Make those long to be. Just a feel. I mean, if you needed to make something
Ah,
dramatic, bring it back down if you think your lead couldn't handle it. You could put that as an option.
Right.
Just a field. I don't think it's hard. A good lead shouldn't have any trouble. A lead section. They have the melody for heaven's sake. So
well, yeah, but it's basically the same chord. Well, B minus 7 is related to D7.
right,
So
yeah,
that will help them hear it better too.
right.
Yeah.
But again, if you took the time, or long to be in just a field, and make it in just a field or something, tie it together, or just put a nice swipe in there. That could work too. Yeah, but it's very nice. I love it. Okay. Can we look at Elizabeth's?
Okay.
Elizabeth, when you sent your revision, you changed all this, and I thought,
I did.
what a shame. It's lovely. Um, I don't quite understand the free to be only didn't ring for me, but this is, just a simple life without all this strife. Strife. See, I went there. Not all this strife. Now, what I would do with this is just a simple life without all this strife. Stop. And where I'm free to be only me. Strife. In other words, that's the end of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of your phrase. Just a simple life without all this strife, or without all this strife. I think it goes down, which is your baritone, but you can decide that. Without all this strife, and where I'm free to be only me. That's the next phrase. Do you hear it?
So what are you saying? Put a breath in there? Is that what you mean?
I'm saying this
Hold it
ends
out.
the phrase. This strife, that's her phrase. Just a
Yeah.
simple life without all this strife, and where I'm free to be only me.
Yeah.
Strive and where? Strive and where? You see what I mean? Strife. End. End it. End that thought. And where I'm free to be. And would be a little word. Strive.
Okay.
Where I'm strive. And where I'm long to be. I don't understand that. Where I'm long to be only. Maybe it's the chord isn't right or something. The melody could be fine. I'm long to be only me. Or is it on where I'm free to be only me? Is B the high point that you wanted?
No, actually, I wanted only, but I couldn't work it out. It's, I wanted the only to actually be on the D, but it was so high. I was really fixated on trying to get the note back down so that the lead could easily move into the B.
Yeah, and I think where I'm free to, the same chord you have on 2 could be the chord for free. To be only me. I would work on it a little bit because it's a really nice idea, but where I'm free to be only me, your timing is good, but your high note needs to be on the, only me, or
Mhm.
only me. But here's neat. Listen to this. See. Me, only me. Okay, so there's a great example of where you have more of an embellishment, but one part is singing me, only me, right? I wouldn't take her down an octave. Only me, oh. Or maybe you would. Anyway, the chord
Yeah,
is
you might have to. Yeah.
yeah. So when we're looking at embellishments, ladies, look for more opportunities where 3 parts hold a note, and maybe usually the baritone will have to resolve something, but me, only me, give another part the words and things. That's so cool. All right. She did another cool thing on I can hear the bells a ring, hear them ring. Now, my question to you is, all of you, it's cool. Ring, hear them ring. Bass is singing ring. Everybody else is singing ing. How could we fix that? You know?
Oh, that's a problem. Actually, I think Liz Pa did that, and I felt terrible about stealing it, but I just love it.
No,
Well, it's the same vowel sound.
no, it's beautiful. The ring, hear them ring. I just wondered if one part is singing, 3 parts are singing ing, you're singing ring, hear them. Maybe it's not a problem. I'm asking you.
I didn't think it was a problem, but is it? Does anybody else think it's a problem? Is it?
I wouldn't think it's a problem because you're focusing on the ing sound. I mean, the R is just passing.
Pull it up a little bit, Jean, would you?
Yes. Up a little higher.
Yeah, just a little higher. So it's,
There we go.
I think I'm just going to suggest that if everybody was ring, hear them, ring, and everybody moves ringing and we all make a move on the ing.
I don't think I
I'm
understand what
not
you're saying.
following you. Yeah, I'm not
Sorry.
following what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. Well,
So,
okay.
so are you saying change the rhythm of the lead line? Or
No, I'm saying so. So we sing. So they're going to sing 2 notes. Right? And and the leads are going to move there.
okay, what's the purpose of that? It just seems like it's extending the ing, which doesn't make sense to me. But so tell me, how
Okay, so it's kind of, okay. So if ring, hear them ring.
Yeah.
Basses should be singing, ringing. The basses should finish the word. Hear them ring.
Ah, okay.
And everybody else is singing ringing, and the basses have a cool line. Hear them ring. So if the bass is saying
Okay.
ring, hear them ringing, and a little quick breath there.
Ah,
So everybody else was going ring, hear them, and they're going ding. So they all sing ing on a quarter note.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
the other three parts go ringing. Do you hear?
Yes, that made more sense.
Okay.
Okay, because they're still singing ring on their ring.
Yes.
And then they changed to ing.
Ringing.
Okay.
And then put a little breath there, and the crowds are going home, which is another thing. Once again, we have almost everybody. I can hear the church bells ringing, and the crowds are going home far away. Think about things like far away, far away beyond the, and the crowds are going home. In other words, just because it was written da 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 doesn't mean we have to notate it that way. And the crowds are going home. And the crowds are going home. And the crowds are going home. You know, notate it how you want to express it. Now here's
How
a really
you would
cool thing.
speak it. Yeah.
Elizabeth says on this, she goes, ring home and send so far. Now, how cool is that, Elizabeth? Jeez. And then so far. Huh?
Oh, I don't know. Is it cool?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I've looked at this thing so long and so intensely now. I'm losing
Yeah.
perspective.
And why
I
is that
can't-
so cool?
yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. Oh, you have two right here. I'm not sure why the lead tie flipped up. It should be going the same direction as you see how the tenor tie and the tenor slur are going curving up.
Yes.
The lead tie and the lead slur should be curving down, and you could
Oh,
just
okay.
push flip or something, and it'll flip it around.
Okay. Okay. I didn't realize that. Okay.
And I think that your then so chords could be better.
I did change those on my revision. I made the then, instead of making it a B minor, I made it a
You
D7.
Yes, you did. You did. Absolutely you did. That's right. That made it much smoother, but and then so far away breath beyond the city would be right? And then so far away breath beyond the
Oh, yeah.
see?
That'd
So
be
just
nice.
just nice just think about how you'd say it. And then so far away beyond the city. Quick breath back in. Every time it always bothers me when I see mother dear was mother dear.
Yes.
My mother would have a fit if I said mother dear.
Well,
Mother dear.
there's just a manuscript thing right here. If the leads and tenors are singing the word and, you don't need the slur because it technically ends
Ah, yeah.
I, right?
Right. Right.
You know, where
And
this one is slurring, yes, but you don't need it at those spots. Yeah.
And maybe as busy as this is, Elizabeth, for everybody to look at, she has, and the crowds are going home and then so far away. Do we need, and the crowds are going home and then so far away? Maybe
Mm.
we don't need home, or home, just maybe the notes and no words. Home or home, and then so far. Move it along. It said bum bum bum. You with me? How we move our embellishments. The note patterns can make a big difference in their success or not. And the crowds are going home, and then so far instead of bonk, 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 right? With me?
Yeah.
Okay. There's another, let's look at somebody else's intro while we're at it. Let's look at Donna's. Donna took a really lovely old hymn and made it, and because we know that she lived this, so she was being generous to say precious memories, knowing that it wasn't her best time, but precious memories all around me. Is that Donna, I was going to ask, are those the actual words and the notes in the melody? I mean, from the song?
I modified the words a little bit. Precious memories, how they linger is the actual phrase.
Okay, precious memories
changed it.
all around me, how they ever flood my soul is, yeah, I think it's lovely. But all around me, how they ever flood. Oh, here's what I wanted to ask you. This how they that thing kind of pops right out, doesn't it? That E minor on the eh.
Where are you talking about?
Eh on E minor on eh. How they eh.
Man.
Doesn't want to come down. I think it's a C, but so this is what it sounds like. Everybody, it goes. Precious memories all around me. It's too loud, isn't it? Sorry. Um, that chord just like pops out of somewhere, doesn't it? Donna, doesn't sound
I really want the lead to be on the D on that chord. I mean, that's just the song.
no, not I'm talking about eh.
Oh, okay.
That chord. That's fine.
Okay.
I would make the how they the D chord. You have a D chord, but you've doubled the fifth. I would double the root. I can't find a D there for you, but okay, so anyway, work on it a little bit because it's a little off, but it's really nice. Here's what I would like to see you do with soul. My soul. Oh, you ended on a tonic and you're starting on a tonic, but for the intro, my soul. Oh, I can hear. Just make it more connected. Do you hear it? If you
All
go,
right. So what do you want me to do there?
well, you ended my soul, my soul, my soul, or my soul. Oh, no, that won't work. But my soul, oh, I can hear.
Okay.
It needs to, it's a beautiful intro, but it just sort of stops. Does anybody else hear it? My soul, stop. I can hear. I would like to see it connect to with a D7.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're going from a G chord and then a G chord is the start of the next line.
Yeah.
So to do something in between would help connect it better. Yeah.
Either soul, oh, I can hear.
Okay. All right. I see that.
And I can hear. Yeah. But it's very nice. It's very nice. I think it's a lovely treatment and it seems to fit with your whole song. How they ever fled my soul. Yeah, that's good. Let's look at whose intro did we not do yet? Okay, then there's Miss Emily. And Miss Emily, my darling, I don't think this is an intro. I think this is a verse.
I don't think this is my most recent, because my most recent I said it was a verse. I
Yes,
changed it
you changed it to verse on the revision.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I knew you'd tell me off, so I changed it to say verse.
And what was your clue that it wasn't an intro? How
Oh,
did you-
too much lyric content.
Yeah.
Started telling the story rather than setting the scene for the story.
Yeah.
But and, you know, it's fine if you want to start that way too. I mean, a verse can start. We don't have to have an intro, but I just
Right.
looked at it and I thought, just so that you know that's not really, but oh, okay, so nice. It could just be, yeah, when the toil of day is, I love the when the toil of day is over. And once again, I would over, I think we would say when the toil of day is over, and you know, and there's a possibility for you like to do this, so I'm giving you permission to go over and the crowds, let the bass lead into it with an and the crowds are going. Anyway, but that was all. So there's not much to say about that one, but while we're on M, because we've covered everybody's intros, I hope that that's helpful to you to hear. You've done absolutely, I'm just stunned at how beautifully you've done these intros. I'm just going to challenge you to work harder on your tags. The tags need a little help, but that's a skill. We're
One
working
step
on
at a time. There we go.
one step at a time. Em, you had on. Can we go to Emily's? Where are we here? Childhood. There's something else that.
Must be the second page, childhood there.
Oh, yes. I got to get her original here because I made notes so I could. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
this is the pre-revisions version. I'm not sure which one.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Do you have
but I-
childhood in here somewhere? Or is it later?
Next page, I think. Yes, down
child.
the bottom.
Yeah.
Down bar 38, I think you went past it.
Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. There's childhood right there.
Okay. Yeah. No. We already did that. That childhood. It's another one of those. We already talked about that. And the one I love the best. Okay. So let's look at, which brings up key changes, and what a cool little deal this is here. Now, M, listen to it again and you go, best I find my, the lead wants to go up there. The lead will, I find my, you have it written there, but you gave them, lest I find my.
Because I'm a baritone and I hear chromatics as melodies.
Yeah, but, you know, a lead singing, best I find my, is not really melodic, is it? But what you've written is beautiful. Best I find my. By the way, I added a B flat in the bass there.
I did too. I centered that already by adding the B
Oh.
flat there. It sounds more barbershop.
Because it makes it a Dom 7 instead of the Dim 7, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
It makes it
barbershop because it's dominant.
because it takes you right to that A.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
The other reason she hears that going up because this is T into the new key, and so T because Do is A. So anytime we hear a leading tone like that, your ear wants to hear it go up. Now, do you see how that's the see? It's Do in the old key, but it's T in the new key, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so whenever there's a leading tone somewhere, everybody's ear, every singer wants to resolve it by going up to the A. which was one of the reasons she said, "Oh, make it go da da da."
Yeah. But I think
Yeah.
also you have the baritone. You know right away that lead's gonna go, wait, I want those notes because she's, with the one I love the best, I find my,
But then the next note is awkward. Then the first note in the new key is awkward. Then unless she changes it. Bless you.
hold it up
Bless
there
you.
so we can see it.
Oh, I just changed the melody. That's easy.
Yeah.
Reprise. The other thing that I've been told around key changes is that it's always best to have lead on tonic or fifth to assist with anchoring because it helps with tuning. So to flip them means that for find my, lead's not on tonic or fifth. So
What's a tonical fifth of what?
of whichever chord. So say the B minor 7 or the B, what will end up becoming a B flat, Dom 7. I've been told before that for good tuning around key changes, leads should ideally be on 1 or 5. Is it better just to do whatever sounds most melodic?
Not necessarily. Depends what the melody's doing, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's above my pay grade, I think. But
Yeah, I've never heard that explanation before, but it's something you can do, but you don't have to. I mean, I think it depends on where the melody was coming from and where the melody's heading. It might be awkward to do that. So I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would go with where you want that key. When you hear key change, you hear that you want to hear that be really strong and be really vibrant, and it's like I want to hear what's going to go next, and if the lead goes up there, exactly the chords you have. That has to work that way to me. Can you scoot it up a little bit?
Well, it goes to the next page.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then you just swap lead and Barry notes so that
you can go, I'll find my sweetheart waiting there, or I'll find my sweetheart waiting there. Yeah. Give them the A and then waiting there. Okay.
So that makes them on the leading tone right before Sweetheart. When she switched it to da da da, now they're on the leading tone into the new key.
Right.
That's kind of to me, that helps people hear the new key better than the fifth thing that you talked about.
Okay.
Because the leading tone, if somebody comes up to you and says, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, what do you want to sing?
Do.
Yeah, it leads right into that. That's why it's called a leading tone. Yeah.
Unless you're baritone, you sing do.
Yeah. Do. Yeah.
So anyway, so here's this is my question to everybody is again, are we making the lead or the melody rather the part of the harmonic thing, or is the melody the melody? Sweetheart waiting to with a love to. Wait, is it to with a love? You could with a love. You could easily with a love that's fondant. When you're doing a reprise, ladies, or your last time in the verse, you can play around with that melody a little bit to make it more exciting. We've already sung it the way it should be, but now we're putting our take on it. Sweetheart waiting to. I just wondered if I guess if that's what you wanted. Sometimes, and you do a lot of things with the bass always going up. Think about contrary, everybody, making those motions to, if you go, sweetheart, waiting to, just try to go for that. Not every time you do it. With a love, instead of with a love that's fun. That's one of the places where the baritone, with a love that it might lose it. With a love. Get the baritone and the bass revoiced so that the baritone is, especially when you're up high, you've got the baritone and the tenor up here, and the lead's right, kind of scrunched in the middle. But if you bring it down here, yeah. Did you change this one? Andrew?
I just changed where the fermatas were and made it bar 46 instead. I didn't change the notes.
No. Okay, so Emily, where's the high point of your song?
It's supposed to be bar 46.
Bar 46, Country Home?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
oh, I thought you had it being at 44 with the fermatas and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so country. Okay. Okay, so then I think I'd reconsider what I did with True, because even though we can have a penultimate or a secondary kind of a thing, that's so big. It's hard to get above that one. How I love that dear old country home down on the farm. Yeah. Yeah, I just would challenge you to maybe think fondant. Instead of just that little whatever it was I just played. Yeah. Okay. How I love that dear old. Okay. Okay.
So that's the bit where I changed the melody in the rewrite so that it wasn't all four parts moving up at the same time.
Okay. If that country home. So is it home or tree?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Where's your climax?
If your musical high point is tree, it's supposed to be your home.
Home.
Okay, so then maybe country home, have it go up to there instead of having the tree be the bigger chord before the climax.
Yeah, the way I hear it, because the tenor is descending, it's that sort of resolution down
Okay,
into.
yeah, okay, good, okay.
You've got an awkward jump from the C sharp to the G though.
Yeah, this is not the rewritten one. This is
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Judy and I talked about this in the rewrite, because I was saying I was having difficulty with voicing this any differently in terms of the four parts moving up at the same time. With what I had in mind for the tenor move, which I felt was kind of crucial coming into that climactic bit. And Judy's suggestion was to actually change the melody. So from Love That Dear Old, move the old up to an A, and actually have, I think it was A C flat on the country, because the E on the kind of country was the bit that was making the voicing very difficult to do anything otherwise.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Country, yeah. Yeah, that's
and
good.
Then the whole thing was higher. I think then the tenor was D, E, G natural, F, E, and it just felt a lot more.
And so, again, if you had a love that's fond and true, ooh, how I love, if maybe just had one move, true, ooh, how I love that dear old, love that dear old country home. Whatever, I can't find it right now. So it's going to be.
What's the problem with having had two key changes already? It's already high.
Yes, yeah.
If the bass gets to come down off of there, they're going to home down on the. Then against you're up high again. Someplace in there you just have to find out which is the most important. Is it true, which is beautiful, or country home, or is it down on the farm, which is once again a big deal, you know. I love dear old fashioned country home down on the. And once again, everybody, if we go, is that what yeah, you wanted that quirky, cute chord. I know it.
Barbershop. You got to make it barbershop.
But tags.
But if it's a barbershop contest song, you want to end with a strong barbershop tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't find it, but I can't find it. Anyway, instead of farm, I love that farm, it needs to have that chord that does not go to the tonic.
Mhm.
Home down on the farm. Why can't I find that? Well, because I can't see the whole chord. Could you move the chord down? What? Yeah, monkey. In the
So downbeat of bar 50, for example, I shouldn't just hit A tonic. That should be a different chord.
and where, honey?
Downbeat of bar 50.
Right
No.
here.
Dear old fashioned country home down on the farm. Where's your tag start? That's the other thing.
Bar 45.
Which
Maybe.
one? 45?
Oh, sorry. No, it's probably just the repeat bar 49 onwards, probably.
Down on the farm. That ended your down on the farm. That tag. Dear
Yeah.
old fashioned country home down on the farm. Okay, good. So you did have the farm did, yes, the farm did take a non-tonic approach. That's good. Yeah.
But ideally in a tag, you then wouldn't have any moment that you give that relief, right? Which is why I was saying that downbeat of bar 50, you might want to pick a different chord so that there's just no relief until you have that final chord.
No, I
You
don't
can
think
have
so.
it there sometimes.
Just in general for everybody to look at. This is what I was talking about. When you get so high and there's no more high to go, this whole thing is high. Fashion country home down on the it finally gets down here a little bit, sort of. This would be better. It needs to come down. It can't all be high and loud, you know. Dear old fashioned country home, down on the farm. That dear old fashioned, yeah.
You have to decide which one is the climax.
Just
Which one's the main one?
yeah. It just to play in general when we're doing these things, we need to have it build up to something, and this build up right at the top of the page, and it stayed high. So in other words, as far as a musical arc goes, it's got beautiful stuff in it. You know, it's like, ooh, this is chord worship time. We love this measure and we love that measure. But if we're telling a story with a love that's fond and true, it's with a love that's fond and true. Maybe that's a true, ooh, how I love. Maybe that's not as high. It's maybe they're old people and we just don't want to go that high. And love that's fond and true. I love that. Something that comes down for all of us. Oh, I love that dear old country home down in the farm. That right.
So, just my understanding. So, if I brought the true embellishment down, then maintained the height of bars 45 to 48, and then made it a much lower, softer tag, would that be sufficient contrast?
Yeah, sure.
That wouldn't be too much time. High 45 to 48.
No, well, I think it's just that you have to decide this was my big thing, and then that dear old fashioned country home down. Yeah, that's sort of like the denouement kind of thing. It's beautiful, but the true you could. Oh, I love. You could still keep your melody up there, but the rest of the chord doesn't need to be up in the stratosphere, right?
Sure.
Okay. So good. Let's see, where did I go? Okay. I wanted to look at that wasn't oh. I wanted to look at Liz's at the very we did that, I think. Okay. We did. True. Okay. Oh, I know. It's the back of mid. Oh, so look at Liz's on page 3. Page 3, yeah. So Liz, lovely. Going back. Ooh, I think I would let your harmony parts not go going back. Ooh, and just have a ooh. Where the flowers are bloom, and then come in on blooming. So in other words, where it's a bass solo. So let the rest of them sing ooh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
that bit I was basically copying your thing because I really liked your thing, but I thought I shouldn't copy it exactly.
oh. No, you're fine. And again, the melody is so the bass.
So when the bass has got a melody, we want to keep everyone else as quiet as possible so that the melody comes out. That's what you're saying.
Well, just so that it's the rest of the people don't need to say the words if the basses are doing it because they probably don't like it. But so back to where the flowers are blooming, blooming, and then the leads need to take and because they get the
I
melody.
understand that. Yeah.
There you go. And where all is peace and rest. This is a very nice part I wanted to show everybody.
That's Emily's.
Oh, okay.
I stole it off Emily.
It's always
I
good to know.
plagiarized my whole song.
And look at that. Look at that. Though you're back amid the scenes. See, you gave the breast that, and then rest, breath. Back among the seeds of childhood, which we know we're going to get rid of the middle guy, right?
Yep.
With the ones I love the best. Now, that's a nice key change. Now, just chord it. You guys chord those things, particularly into a key change. Whatever it was. It's going to be much stronger. The best. Just they need to be.
In my revision, I added all 4. I had all 4 parts singing that.
You did order all 4 parts. I think I would make it. I think I would open it up more. You had a closed, didn't you? I can't remember what it was, but I think it calls for. Da-da-dum. That takes us a big open voice, takes us into. I would, but yes, notate it because the sweetheart leads right into there with the open, right? Yeah. And
May I ask a question, please?
yeah.
Okay, the pickup you were just talking about, when you say chord, did I correctly hear you say chord pickups that move into key changes?
That's a smart thing to do. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all four, or can you just have 3? Can you have a trio, or do you want all 4?
Here's what I would say, Jean, if you agree with me, is it's a key change. We want it to be strong as possible. All 4 voices need to sing bum, bum, bum to land into that key change.
Yes.
Okay.
Other times you have a pickup and it could be a duet, it could be a solo, it could be a something, but particularly key change, get everybody in it and
Okay.
get the anchors on the chords. It's da-da-bum. We just expect them to find it, right? Otherwise. So it'll be a strong part of your arrangement with a sweetheart waiting, wanting you. Oh, go to the next page, would you please? When we have this, and I saw this several times, we've got like she has sweetheart wanting you. Good. Did you hear her change the melody? Sweetheart wanting you. Now you. If somehow the melody could stay you and let the other parts you, just you,
Yep.
just you. That sweetheart wanting you with a love, you, just you. You hear what I mean? You take it away. We want to hear that melody. We want to hear that you, something. You, with a love that's fun and true, which you did on True. True country home. Okay, yeah. Oh, go down a little farther. Country home. Dear old fashioned country home. My home. My old home. Something we've got again, ladies. If we've got country home, we just say the same words again. And we didn't really do much for the whole thing, did we? A dear old fashioned country home. My dear home. My dear. Down. And so nice, Liz, and then down, down, down. Yeah, I didn't hear that chord you have there. Country home. This wants to go to what is that chord? I can't read your chords because those things.
Yeah, that's because you're. It seems to do that when it goes from musical when you translate it in.
Diminished,
So
isn't it? No, it's not diminished. It's
the
an
home
F,
is in C sharp minor 6.
I think it's an F sharp 9.
Yeah, same notes in both. Yeah.
It's an F sharp 9, right? Can you hear the F sharp in the chord? We can hear it.
Talking about bar 43.
I'm talking about 43.
43 doesn't have an F sharp.
It's a
Yeah.
9.
That's because there are 5 notes in a ninth chord. So you leave the root off. You leave the F sharp off. And then you have those notes. The same
So
same thing as the 6th chord. It's just voiced differently. But I
you're
see
saying it's an F sharp 9. What did you say it was? Because I've got it as a C sharp minor 6.
Would you? This is one of those that if you hear it in your, I mean, it could be this. It wouldn't go. I don't think it goes there, does it? You can.
I really liked that chord progression.
This chord progression. I think it goes to A flat. Listen to this a second. This is an F sharp 9. Do you hear it? And it goes to A flat. Do you hear it?
no, that's really hard to hear. I mean, yeah.
It resolves to an A flat chord. If you have this, also resolves to an A flat minor chord. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Does it resolve to? We need to hear where something resolves to, I think. Something missing there? Oh, there's a measure missing. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
what happened to that measure?
yeah. So, Liz, you have a good, however you, you hear that chord, okay, but instead of repeating the same notes, I love the dear, something, I love. Change up that chord. Change up the middle chord. I love life, right?
Yeah. I know that was really boring and I couldn't work out how to fix it.
Well, but that's where you can have it. I looked at that and I went, because of the measure that is not showing, you're 45, something
Yeah,
happened at 45.
That's
But
an E flat 7 chord.
because when you went to this, I heard, because that went into your D, into your E flat 7 chord.
So what chords are they?
So I would just play with the something that goes, get creative. And here we go. Something that didn't go to that. Yeah, just play with that a little more. You've got all kinds of creative stuff through this whole thing. You'll come up with something that's a little more, just a little more inventive on it.
So on the last line where you have the tenor part, where you have the notes going straight across, sometimes and the bass is going straight across, sometimes you can do a contrary motion thing that would work with some
Yeah.
chords. So
Right.
try
Yes.
an option like that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
My life is down. My life is down. Whatever. Yeah.
There's something in Donna's that I particularly wanted to we just have these. Abby, I want to say your lyrics. Did everybody get it? And the friend so dear to keep me
Wait,
from.
now you just jumped from Donna to Abby, right?
No, well, because I went to Donna's
That's
and
very hard to follow you. So where are you now? It's
I'm
like,
so sorry. I picked up hers and I
whoa.
thought, oh,
Yeah.
my papers are all phoned together here, and I'm trying to find Donna's. And while I was at it, I found Abby's. Here's
So-
Donna. Yay. Okay.
Okay.
So that she had. So your
Are you
thing.
talking about the tag or what?
Wait a second. Her lyrics. I just want to say, just a field of new mown hay, and she made the nice changes on. Go to 21. Yeah. Just a field of new mown hay. What she had was what you see there, but she made the change so that now the tenor goes to the C sharp and the bass goes to the A, which is exactly right. A. Yeah.
Good job. Yes.
So that was the right change to make. And then as long as you're there, you could just as well stay there instead of coming down.
Right. I did that on the revision.
And you know, either it was okay. Oh, here's what it was. This is a cool idea, Donna. Instead of and shield, you've made this up, so give them something cool. And shield me from a harm. And shield me from a harm. Don't give them the same note. I mean, give the baritone something. And shield me from, you know, make it be. And shield me. And now let everybody else just hold it and let the baritones have the whole thing. And shield me from a harm. Right?
Okay. Okay.
Just let them do it. And shield me from all harm. No. Yeah. Yeah, get creative with that. But time for work. I love these. Time for work and time for play and some music every day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Now, Donna. It needs to come down. Do you see it? In 32, Donna?
Oh, wait, I'm lost. I've got too many papers in front of me.
Oh, I know it. So just everything is lovely. Your whole time for work and time for play and some music every day.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now I'm with you.
Day. And then you have if you went day. Can you go back where you were there, Jean?
Oh, I thought you were done with that spot. Sorry.
No, 32. Yeah. So you've got, and then leave the baritone on the bass there.
Now turn.
No, do you see?
No,
what?
don't. Okay. Sorry.
I'm waiting for her to see if she's.
Okay. So
Right
leave the
here.
baritone. So don't change that last chord, just the melody. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to hear that you've got that. I don't think that's where you really wanted that to go, was it?
Well, I struggled with that. I never really liked how that sounded, but I couldn't figure out what else to do.
So I think goes to an E7, not an E minor.
Oh, on the second note.
Yes. Yeah. So, right? So
Okay.
it stays E7 with the right? I think you were trying to get there, but it wasn't quite getting there.
Yeah. I knew there was, my ear didn't like that, but I never could, I just couldn't.
I know, but
couldn't
there were
figure it out.
others too. I think Liz had a place like that too, and a couple other people did too that were just, we didn't quite get there. So I wanted you to hear that from a
Okay.
B7 to an E7, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then, and you know, you need to finish the
Finish the tag. Okay.
It's gonna be wonderful. I can't wait to hear it, but it's gonna be wonderful.
Okay. All right.
Now, Abby.
So no, well, let me just say one thing. So,
yeah.
so Donna, when you said, "Oh, I just can't think of, I couldn't think of anything else," that's the time to walk away from that, and just sing some barbershop some chords in your head. You know, like sometimes when I have trouble, you know, you work on it, and then you're like your brain freezes. I walk away and do something else, but then I start singing the melody or something, and then I can hear the bass and baritone. You know, I start hearing voices in my head. I got a new shirt that says that. The voices in my head sing 4-part harmony. I love it. And so I start go around the house and start singing the melody or start humming and see if anything pops in your brain. It's not going to happen after you just worked on it. You have to go,
Okay.
go do the dishes or go cook dinner or something, and
Right.
then go back and just sing the melody and sing. What would make it? What kind of barbershop chords would fit there? Sometimes that helps you come up with a new idea.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Thank you.
Good. Okay, great. Can we go to Abby's page 2?
Okay.
And Abby, you made the good changes on your revision on your measure 14 and measure 17. We're not going to talk about those right now, but you made good changes. Those are good.
Okay.
Yeah, a love that's young, a love not young but true. That's great. I love it. Now, you changed this on your revision, but don't change it. This was nice. That's very nice progression. And then you've got, we don't need the middle person. Just bring it up. Right? Just bring your, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You've got,
Oh, yeah,
that
that
does
change at 16.
Yeah,
Is that necessary? Okay, yeah.
It doesn't add anything, I love that's love not young but true. It's true. And then you have, I think you meant a D natural, but you didn't put it there.
No, it is. I did mean a D sharp. I did. In the other one, I put a courtesy because I like that better.
You wanted a D sharp on my?
Yeah.
So okay?
Doesn't really.
Does that sound very barbershoppy to you to have a D sharp there? I mean, it's okay to like something like that, but we're talking a barbershop song, close to the end, and that does it feel barbershop when you do a D sharp there?
And Abby, are you talking to us?
Well, yeah, that sounded more barbershop, but maybe it's not. So let's think what chord that would be then.
What? Which
G.
one? What she
G
just
major.
did? You mean?
So if you think it should be a D natural, that means you want it on a G chord, G natural chord.
No, honey, where are you? I'm just talking about your Yes, My Heart.
Yes, but
So
if you're gonna change, but it still would have like a chord base, even if it's not a 4-part chord. So I'm just thinking why it would sound more barbershop that way. Yeah.
they said earlier today, she said it doesn't matter if they're doing a duet, as long as it sounds good together, it doesn't have to be like a chord.
Right.
It probably is a chord. Okay, it's an E. It's an E chord with a C. So it's an E6 and then an E. Right?
Okay, so Abby, tell me what I would like to hear your thought process, because when I hear what you were thinking and why you were thinking that way, I can help you analyze it. Okay, so what were you thinking when you said you liked the D sharp there? That's cool. So what was happening in your brain? What did you hear after the D sharp?
Well, as long as that tenor resolves to the E, that makes sense.
Okay.
E, D sharp, E is a really leading turn,
Yes, okay.
Okay.
So does the D sharp go to the next chord? Okay, that on heart that you have for heart. Like when you play just the duet on Yes, My.
Yeah.
And then you play Does that does that sound okay to your ear?
It does, but that's why I'm just wondering about what chord base it is, even though there's only 2 notes. Maybe I need to think about,
Right.
maybe that's the part you're talking about setting more barbershop. I need to figure out what chord
Yes.
would be, it's representing, even if it's not a full 4-part.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what I know what the chords are if it's this,
Okay, so it would be,
but I don't know what the chord is with your D sharp. But let me follow a thought with you. If you have a duet, that would complete the duet and then make the heart chord.
oh, so you just want me to change the tenor in 17 as well? Then it just goes na 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 nicely.
Yeah, but what I was just thinking, it would be. It just occurred to me that that's nice instead of.
Yeah.
And then the baritone takes the E.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
makes
Yeah.
a nice, yeah. And you fix that when you. Now here you have this nice key change. I think would be a little stronger. Once again, we have contrary motion, right?
So what did you, what chords did you do? Did you change the chords?
No. I just
Or just-
revoiced your chord.
Oh, just revoiced. Okay.
I just revoiced it and had the bass go ba-da-dum and and
Okay.
and then I would go oh I and put it da 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 I can hear but da 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 oh same chord I yeah. If we can make those transitions for arm, oh, I can hear the church bells ringing. Lovely. And now you have a home, sweet home. There's an opportunity for 3 chords because there are words that go with it. Oh.
Where are you? What measure?
Oh,
24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very nice. And now,
I think I might have changed that. I'm not sure. Okay, but anyway,
you what?
I may have changed that. I think I changed it.
You did change that, and that's why
The lead moved earlier.
It's second note for the lead a B. Don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do it? Okay.
There's pretty. That lost it.
Okay.
And then so far chorded.
Yeah.
So far, don't leave the leads just out there hanging.
Yeah.
So far, right? If we
Yeah.
can put 4 notes in, ladies, put 4 notes in unless you had a reason to do otherwise. Like up at the top she had with a love, it's a bass solo, or that little duet with the tenor and the lead. Yes, my heart, right? There's a reason to do that, but otherwise, home sweet home, so far. I mean, everybody needs to sing.
Okay.
You with me?
Yes.
Yeah, so far away above the city. Oh, and on city, you had 26. I don't know why the tenor needs to move there. It should go right away. City, right? I don't know the purpose of that, Abby.
Probably just to have more rhythmic movement, but you explained earlier why that's not necessary there.
Because it's going to the next thing, and that just kind of delayed it. City E, sort of like the tenor forgot her note, but then she found it.
Yeah.
And Oh my, and you made changes on that next measure. Good. You made changes. You made some nice changes. Good, 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 good. And you blooming. Oh, this blooming. Back to where the flowers are blooming. Oh, you did change it. Blooming. She changed it and she made that in measure 30, the tenor sing the G and the bass sing the B flat. And listen, this is what she had. And this is how she changed it. You hear it? When it starts to open up that way and goes contrary motion, how nice that is.
Mm.
Bloom, blooming, bloom, bloom, blooming. Anytime you can get the bass and the tenor to move away from each other. And again, put the chord on blooming where all. It needs.
Can you play it one more time?
Sure.
I want to hear it again.
So she goes, back to all the river blooming. That's what she had. And now she changed it to blooming. And I think the problem is blooming and we're all. You had blooming, we're all. It's awkward, isn't it?
Yep.
Blooming and we're all, right? Otherwise we had blooming, we're all. Yeah. Too many things in bloom.
Are you talking about the ing and the bloom taking place simultaneously there, Judy?
Yeah. Blooming and. So 31, there should be a word like and or something. Ming and we're all, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the ing in the beat 3 of measure 30 taking place simultaneously with bloom in the bass and the berry. Because remember on my embellishment, you said you've got the ring taking place at the same time as the everybody else singing ing. Are you talking
Yes.
about that same thing happening here?
Yeah. No, actually, I wasn't even looking at that, but yeah, it should be blooming. Everybody would be singing blooming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you took the leads, blooming, blooming. If you finish blooming, blooming, which really doesn't make much sense, but blooming. I think it's a little odd to have blooming where all is peace and rest, but maybe that's fine too. I don't know. It just make sure that you chord everything, that where and the yes.
Oopsie.
Um,
What happened?
I
Oh, there we
don't
go.
know. Anyway, there's some nice amid the scenes of childhood with the ones I love the best. You just guys have written some beautiful lyrics to go with this old dog of a song, which I kind of like now with these lyrics. And then my heart is yearning for my home. Oh, one more thing on the back, Abby, where you had page 4, you have for my. You still have a problem with this spread, even though you for my home. Take an opportunity to give the bass something like that for my home, so that they don't have just that whole. It is, yeah. Sorry, for my home, and that lead has to come down. So sometimes, ladies, when you have a big jump like that, give something like the bass a move. For my home. So the first note is still an A on my, Jean. It's an eighth note A on my.
Right
Yeah.
here?
On my.
Oh,
It's an eighth
my.
note A and an eighth note E flat.
Gotcha.
For my home. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For my home. And once again, my heart. Yeah. Down.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you have a nice little quiet ending to that, and it's kind of lovely. Yeah. Barbershopy tag, but it's a pretty thing, you know. I don't understand the bass note on down my. Or maybe it's the that
Which
chord,
note do you not?
that my chord. Those really don't go together. Maybe if it's just an A flat chord, or if it's a.
You're talking about 45?
I'm talking about 43. My.
Oh,
Yeah. I think there's some more things that you could maybe do that go together a little longer. And I would change your word from my heart lies on, but my heart lives on the farm. My heart, let's see,
hmm
yeah, something. Um,
yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I thought of lives or
yeah,
is or lies or yeah, okay, lives. Okay,
my heart belongs on the farm. Or yeah,
I think I chose it because it was more of a similar vowel to the down that's being held, but
yeah.
it's not that far off. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's late, and I was kind of afraid it was going to be late because we had so many things to cover. So, we need to have another date. Does anybody have any questions on anything?
Well, what
I
is
do. Go ahead, Abby. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm just wondering if we're meant to continue revising this or if this is
No, I don't think so. I think
okay.
you do what you want to with it. If you want to do something and send it off to us, take a look, and then we'll have a conversation about it or something. I think these are just things to
Yeah.
go further at thinking, of where you're going next. These principles, I suppose, is what I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and I do have a question, please.
Yeah.
Do you feel that that this song is in or that a key change is appropriate for this song?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How
And-
about an interlude? Do you feel that an interlude is appropriate
Okay,
for the
so
song?
Elizabeth, you took that out when you did your thing, and I think your interlude was lovely, and I think your key change was lovely, and I don't know why.
Oh,
Even though the interlude was all in minor, do you think that was okay, or is that problematic?
I think
Oh, yeah.
the first
Okay.
the first 4 or 5, the first of 4 bars are a little strange.
Hmm. The
There's
first
a way
4 bars of the interlude?
yeah.
You can have a minor interlude, but it doesn't mean you have to use a minor chord on every single word or every single syllable. You can still have some major chords and it will still feel like it's in the minor mode. It
Okay.
appeared to me that you were trying to make it in a minor mode, so every chord you were using was a minor chord. You don't have to
Well,
do that to make it a minor mode.
okay, well, I was feeling terribly morose that day.
Oh,
I
But
really was. I just couldn't get out of the minor thing.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's okay.
So
Yeah. Very
So do you
effective.
think I should put should I go with my first arrangement first and then just fix that stuff? Because I think, I took that out, I took the interlude out, and I took my key change out. And I really loved those things, but I felt like, well, maybe they're not appropriate.
No,
I
I think it's a lovely thing, and I liked it. I wanted you to maybe make it a little more city living. Leaves me feeling lost at sea. I don't even know if I am me. How I long for that life, or just that simple life, down on the farm. I think the last part of it gets pretty wordy. Just that simple life
Yes.
on the farm where I was meant to be. I think maybe just just that simple life down on the farm. Because where I was meant to be, I don't even know if I was me. I mean, it's a little much, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I think it's a lovely idea, the little interlude, and and your key change was very nice.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. Okay, ladies, what do we got next here?
Okay, so I emailed you right before, right at the last minute, the evaluation guidelines, the guidelines that they use when they're going to evaluate you. And I think that's very self-explanatory. You should go through and read that. And then the other attachment was the form that they use to evaluate you. And you might catch something in there that might help you decide one way or the other how am I going to do my embellishments? What kind of a change am I going to make? Because they're looking for how strong of a barbershop arrangement can you do, a contest barbershop arrangement. That's what they're looking for when they're evaluating you. Doesn't mean you can't arrange other stuff, but they're looking to see, can you arrange, a strong barbershop one. So there are, when you look through the guidelines, there might be something in there that will help you decide, like Emily had like 5 climaxes, it might help her decide which one is the most important one, or something like that. So read through that. And if you have any questions when you're reading through that, go ahead and email us and ask. And it's just something to keep in mind as you rework it down on the farm, if you want to, or as you do your last assignment. Yeah. It helps to know
Do
what
we
they're
just
looking
have
for.
one more last, is there just one left?
Well,
One.
yeah, I guess.
It's
Well,
called,
we can set up a separate finale one if you want. We don't have to, but you can if you want. And then the last thing is to do that last song, right? Which we can't help you with. So we
Okay,
want to
and-
make sure you're perfectly clear on what you're doing before you attempt the last song,
Sorry,
Are you going to give
aren't
us
we,
some kind of guidance at all as to where are we supposed to find these songs? Is there something about that?
Well, isn't there another assignment that we all do first, all together, and then we choose our final one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is the
Oh,
last
okay.
song that we
Sorry.
do.
Yeah.
That last song
Okay,
that we
okay.
do, that's what I was thinking of. If you look, as you're doing that, look at the guidelines
Okay,
to
as
make
if
sure
it's
you're trying
that.
to
I
get
see.
what
Sorry
they're
about that. I
looking for.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
explain it very well, so there you go.
And Jean, I have looked ahead a little bit, and I did look at that last song, "Call Me Back, Pal of Mine."
Yes.
Do we? What's the guidelines that you'd like us to use as we think about that in terms of the key that we do it in? Do you want us to keep it in the key it's in, or can we move it if we think it's appropriate to be moved?
You can move it. Yeah. You want it,
Okay.
you want to put it in the key that's going to be most comfortable for most of the singers.
Mhm.
And it might make a difference what key you start in, if you're going to do a key change or not, because sometimes that makes a difference in the key you start with. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Uh,
but take a look at those guidelines as you're doing that last song.
Mhm.
It might help keep you on the straight and narrow path that they're looking for the evaluation.
Okay. So our homework for our next session would be what?
Let's see.
I'm looking for the page that has I have my arrangement of "Call Me Back," and I'm like, where's the page that talks about it? Where did it go?
Oh yeah, it's the last activity.
The last activity. Where's my activity?
Wait, I'm looking.
brother.
I have to go find my correct folder.
Sorry, I'm so focused on this thing here, I forgot to look at the next,
Hold on, I didn't look either.
Pull me back. I was looking at that too, and that's one where the verse I feel like it's either a bit boring to arrange, or like the chords don't change, or if there's a lot of minor chords in there. So I was feeling like maybe I wouldn't have the verse in this song. But I don't know.
You can do that if you want. But I mean,
no, you want to do,
but
no,
I think they're gonna want to see you do a verse. Would be my guess. Wait, I have to look. I can't remember without looking at it. Hold on.
sorry, too, I'm looking for my,
But I don't think we're not being assessed on this one though. This one is
no,
still one.
you're not, no,
Yeah,
we're gonna go
okay,
over this
yeah,
one together.
yeah,
I'm just like trying
yeah.
to find my silly thing here.
Yeah.
Yes, you're not. Okay, so what I would like to see is treat this one as if you're being evaluated on it, because I think it will help you in the long run when you truly pick your own song to be evaluated. Do you know what I mean? I think it would help you.
Okay, activity 5, call me back, pal of mine. I have my agenda that I did like for Act 1 with it. The sheet music examined, stacking seemingly impossible. Of course, where's the doggone first thing? Jean, have you found it yet?
No, I'm looking. I'm still looking for my folder.
I've got, so we
there
are
it is.
doing, we're going to do
Here it is. Yeah.
the call me back, pal of mine is next. And
Right.
so and then that will be our final group session. We will analyze those arrangements. Where in the world? Okay. So I have my notes on what the activity or the agenda was when we did that all together. But and we talked about the sheet music, the selecting the key, selecting the one that is the best singing range, the ring, that we talked about the scholarship evaluation, how these points related to that. I will test the I still haven't found the page, the actual page that shows that but this is what it is. You know what? Here's what we'll do. We will send out to you better instructions on this, but this is what we're doing next. We need to have a date on it and a time that we need to get it pulled in by. Okay?
Yes.
So what is a date that we can agree on for our meeting to do Call Me Back, pal of mine?
So you have to have time to work on it, and then we have to have time to look at them. And it's getting close to the holidays, so I would just want to keep that in mind.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder, Jean.
I know things get crazy around here. I don't know about you guys, but
all right. So
how much time can we have?
Yeah, really. I mean,
I want enough to do a good job.
Right. So what do you think that is? 4 weeks, 6 weeks? I don't know. 2 days?
A month. I'd like at least a month. I would.
Okay.
I would too.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so busy. I've got so much going on in my life. Right at the end of this class too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we, so a month from now would be around, well, you guys don't have Thanksgiving in your country, do you? But
No.
the holidays start getting crazy. So we could meet sometime end of November, beginning of December, but that's a crazy time. Or do you want to not meet till January something? Or I don't know. Tell me what works best for you. And then in between this assignment, we might be able to throw in a finale thing, which is not so much homework on your part as it is just looking at the different things. If you want to, we don't have to.
Yeah. I vote for January. I'm sorry. I know some of you ladies like to move really fast, but I vote for January.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because you want to be able to do a good job with this. I don't know. No one else is saying a word. What do you think, Donna?
Well, it might have to do with if we can actually find a time. It might be based on when we can actually meet and then work back from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
True.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the 21st. We would have a month, for instance, would be like the day of 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the week before Thanksgiving, and that's not enough time for you.
Right.
Years. So unless we did, if anybody, so
Unless we go through them in batches, because often this sort of detailed work, it's difficult to get through everybody's in one go. So we could have the fast movers who are very enthusiastic, want to do things right now, go first, and then
Emily's
have time
already
for
hitting shoes.
I've already got some ideas. And then
That's a
have
good
time for
idea.
revisions and then go through the next groups the following time. Because we're not, as Abby said, we're not going to have that many dates that we can actually meet in the next little while.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Good idea.
okay, so we could have so were you thinking like a group to have that we would have like on say November 18th or 19th or something like that?
It's good for me.
If people, if we have some that want to move that and others want to wait with theirs until later, we could do that too. What do you think?
Yep.
Yeah, I find it really helpful to see what other people have done and to see how you critique them. I just find that so helpful. So I would actually prefer to do that than leave it all till January and have no input at all. Like,
Right.
so if Emily's done hers first,
Yeah.
we can see what Emily's done. I think that would be really helpful to be able to evaluate that.
Okay, we can do that next week, right, Emily? You're so quick. No.
I'll send it to you by tonight.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so if we do like that, which is a great idea, then everyone wants to watch the first batch and also then watch the second batch, or did you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it from each other. Okay.
Because then also, if we've gone first, we can then bring back any revisions that we've tinkered with in the month between, and just have it as an evolving.
I was looking at Act 1, and they actually did this one in but they did it was a month. It was like from March 7th to April 12th is when we did it. So then no.
Well, you got to remember that was back during the pandemic, so there wasn't anything else to do. So they had more time to work on, without interruptions.
No, so we just line up a couple of dates.
Following year, Jean.
Just a couple of dates first. So if we aim for a month, how is everybody looking for the evening of Friday 18th, morning Saturday 19th?
Yeah, it's good for me.
I can do the evening of the 18th.
I can do that.
Yep.
I believe I could do that as well.
Good.
And maybe what it is you have, if you worked on, as you look at it and you worked on and you have the, maybe we all aim to try and have maybe just one part of it, like a chorus or a verse or something, that we, I'm trying to find mine here. Is that a possibility?
Oh, I like the idea of finish it when you do the fast ones first and let the other ones have more time. I mean, that's
yeah, because Jean's suggesting that we try to do the entire thing with no guidance, submit that, and then see as a trial run for the next one.
Okay. All right. So then what's the next one? Then we have to have a follow-up.
Okay, so wait. So did you decide on the what was that date?
18th, 19th. Yeah, 18th. Yep.
Can anybody?
And we have we'll have a time change here before then. So how does that affect what time we're doing this?
Yeah, we'll have to have another look at it. Yeah.
But
are you going
if we
forward
keep it
or
at
back
5,
an hour?
if we
go ahead.
Just always state the central time, and then we can work around that.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
so for we here in America, is it the same time for us then? 3 p.m.
What's 3 p.m.?
Not
well, 3 p.m. for me and
7 for Jean. Done. Yeah.
5
Yes.
PM Central.
It would
So
be
was it
5
4?
PM Central. That's what we did today, right? 5
Right.
PM Central. So that'd be that same time?
That ends up 3 PM for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then do we have another one that we're going to set up? Or is it going to be next year? Is it going to be, when is it going to be?
Yeah, can we line up the next two? Just because December, January is always a mess.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we could do another one in early December, which is finale, and then meet up again about the song in January, as Elizabeth said?
Yeah, it's an idea. Yeah.
How's everyone looking for first couple of weeks of December before it gets to Kristen's?
I could do the 2nd or the 9th.
Friday 2nd, Saturday 3rd for us.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
fine.
Wait a minute. I'm looking.
Oh, does it have to be Fridays? Because Fridays are like, oh man, I don't know. Okay.
My Saturdays are pretty well booked
Oh,
in
okay.
December.
Yeah, December is tough for me.
Yeah, I have to check. I know this sounds weird, but I have to check the family schedule. My granddaughter has a big part in a musical, and I don't know what the
Oh.
date is, and I don't want to miss that. So I have to find out what the date is. Maybe I can text Melissa and ask her when that is.
I might could do the 10th. I've got a thing in the afternoon, but that would, if we do the evening, like, like we usually, the time we usually do, I could do the 10th, which is Saturday.
Oh, but that's, yeah,
I
maybe.
can't do the 10th. Yeah.
Okay. Let me,
Friday the 16th.
oh, that's getting too close.
Too close, yeah. So
Too
it's
close
just
to
whether we can
holiday.
do the
Okay, let's,
2nd, 3rd. Otherwise,
think
not,
this-
no for December.
Do you want to make a tentative 2nd and then Jean can let us know whether she can do it or not?
yeah.
How do we
Let
do
me-
that?
Let me call her and see if she answers, and if she does, fine, and if not, oh well. But all right.
Oh man.
Okay, and then something in January?
Yeah, when would be good?
I'm free.
I've got, January is
'cause ours
pretty
are
much.
8
I'm
a.m.
not
Saturday
available
morning,
the
so-
last weekend of January, but other than that, I'm free.
Why don't we try what is like the 5th and the 6th work for anybody? Or whatever days those are.
6th,
Okay.
7th.
Yep.
The 6th, yeah.
Of January, you're saying now?
Yep. Mhm.
The 6th, did you say?
Yeah.
Let's try that.
6th for us.
Yep.
in the
Yeah,
US.
the 5 PM Central on the 6th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and yes, I can do December 2nd.
Excellent.
Okay, good.
So December 2nd is going to be dedicated to kind of a finale thing.
Right. So
Okay.
now- okay.
And the other two will be Pal of Mine, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have,
Thought you said call me back.
what is it called?
It's Call Me Back, Pal of
Palomine.
Mine.
Yeah, call me
Oh.
back, Palomine. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I can't find my paperwork. It's here somewhere.
Okay, so that December 2nd, we're doing at 5 PM Central, right? And that's going to be finale. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. And then we're
Yep.
going to do January 6th, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's,
And if we get through some maybe on the 2nd, we get through some that do the finale things, maybe we can spend a little bit of time maybe talking a little bit more about tags.
Yep.
Tags appear to still be quite the challenge. Guys are nailing the intros. Got those, but I think the tags maybe somehow something we can do something with, maybe.
That'd be
Do we
good.
have time?
They're good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
May I
So we're-
ask one more question, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Are we allowed to change anything in the title?
I am, because I'm not going to say pal of mine, because that's
Me
a weird
too.
word.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hate pal of mine. That's just weird. Nobody calls anybody a pal anymore. Weird.
well,
Uh-huh.
Looks like we're all
So,
going to
so
change
we're
it.
not, right? That it doesn't look like we are.
I don't
He's not
know.
answering you, and that's your answer.
I know it's like you really probably shouldn't change the title.
Yeah. Okay.
I can ask about it, but it's like it's not a song you're gonna, it's an exercise. It's probably you're not gonna go sing it somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
It's like,
Okay.
it's sort of like
All right.
the sweet Rosie O'Grady. I mean, it's what it is. You know,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, of Grady, I think it's supposed to be, it's some kind of something, pal of mine, only it was palomine. I don't know. And I don't know why I don't think it matters. I mean, what you're going to do, because this is like an exercise.
Well, that's true. This one doesn't have to be turned in, right? Yeah.
Right.
But,
And
but
nobody
I mean,
has to sing it.
yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we're doing that. Call Me Back on January 6th, and we're doing finale on December 2nd with maybe some tag stuff thrown in, right?
Yep.
All right. And so look over those, read the guidelines and make sure you don't have any questions about any of that. You can always email us in between to see. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have a meeting on November 18th.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'd like things turned in a week prior to the date to the Zoom meeting?
Yeah. If it could be
Well, the
a
weekend,
little
Emily's
more
all
than
ready
that.
to press the go button.
the
Yes.
weekend, the weekend, like on the Sunday or something. Is that all right, Jean?
Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier than that, so that we have more time to,
But they're not all going to do it anyway. So
yeah. So
Yeah.
turn it in when you can, I guess. But at least by the week before, right?
Shall we nominate who's session 1, who's session 2, just to make that really clear?
Oh, well,
Your session 1.
yeah.
I've started on it, but it takes me a really long time. So I don't
Yeah.
know if I'll get, but I'll try and keep working on it. And
And you know what? If Emily's the only one on the 18th, then oh well, that's the way it is. Yeah. We might
So
be able to do if it's just Emily on the 18th, we might be able to do tags on that one. Would that
yeah.
work, Judy?
Sure. Yeah.
That might be a better plan because that would give us more time.
Abby might be done.
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll see.
Yeah, if you
I
have it
have
done.
another. I have to do another international voyage between now and then, so
Yeah,
we'll see how I feel.
right.
So do I correctly understand that we're only turning in completed arrangements, not just a verse or a chorus?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why, if you have a verse done, if you have a chorus done, let's take a look at it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we could look at it. Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely have a chorus done by then. It would be nice if I could
It would
turn it
be,
in.
I think we that's the earlier that you can get some kind of feedback on something like that would be really good.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
turn in what you have by, say, the 12th, or the 12th, let's say. 12th or 13th, or when you can get it done. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not after the 14th. Then we would have time to do one of them, but yeah, see what you can do. I don't think we have to be rigid about it, but it's like, and if it's like, oh, I could do it if I had one more day. Okay,
Oh, then have one more day. Yeah.
one more day. All right. Okay.
I really appreciate the time both of you ladies spent with us. A lot of time today. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Well,
Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah.
Just if like I say, if you want to send a note off to your ACP or to the EDC and say, this is really helpful, because I think we get swept under the rug a little bit with our arranging things in favor of other things, and they need to know that we're working and that these are meaningful things, because it's a new program. So you're the ones that are going to tell them whether or not it's meaningful and whether or not it's helpful or whatever you want to say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Send it to ACP or who?
Well, I think both the ACP and the EDC. The EDC is who makes the big decisions. The Education Direction Committee. That's
Yeah. Who's in charge of that? Marcia? I don't know if she's the head right
I
now.
think it's Betty Clipman now.
Oh, could be.
Either
know
way, but they'll tell you at International, whoever it
Yeah.
is. I don't know if they've changed it all over now. I know that they talked to International. Betty said she wants me to do the EDC again. I've already done it like 3 or 4 times, but okay. She's
Lucky
so funny.
you.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ah,
okay, kids.
I might just mention for anyone who's interested, BHS is running Virtual Harmony University that second week of November, and there's a full arranging stream.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it was oh, okay.
Wait, and that is like
This
November
Monday
11th?
the 7th to the 13th, I think.
You said November?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So it's all online. So you can either do it sort of live if time zone's appropriate, or if you've registered, you can then go back and rewatch content.
Ah,
Do you have to be a member to do that?
No, it's just slightly different price point if you're not a BHS
Okay.
member.
Do you know if registration is still open for that, Emily?
I think so. I think the early bird's passed, but registration's still open.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, have fun tomorrow with mixed signals and 3 ducks and a diva.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Good luck
Very
with
exciting. Very exciting.
it.
And good luck on your travels there, Abby.
Thank
Right.
you.
Still waters. Is that possible in the ocean to have still waters?
Yeah, yeah.
But then you might be dead in the water. You might not have a lot of momentum.
Ah,
with these things,
let's not think
right?
of that.
15 knots.
Abby,
Well,
Abby
15
wants
knots,
that.
no more, no less.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, right.
All right. All right.
Did you say 15 or 50?
1 5. 1 5.
15 is not
Hope
yeah.
you're feeling better, Donna. I know you've got that.
Thank you.
That's tough.
Yeah,
Things
I have some good days, so I'll just keep hoping there'll be more of those and less of the other.
Well, you'll come out. Billy Joel said that in times of stress like that's when he wrote his best stuff, so.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There you go.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. This is great.
everybody.
I'm really liking this.